Holy crap, Adam, man. It's been a long 7 months, I have to say, at least, man. Since the start of migration, what was that, in July? Up until right now. It's been a grind, I have to say the least. A lot of ups and downs, but I'm very confident in saying we're finally getting to chapter 2 of Emblem Vault, man. How do you feel going into today?
Emblem 2.0, a new season begins, my man. It's like you talk about something for literally a year. And the idea of cross-chain trading and how's this going to work. And, we think we're in the perfect position to make it happen. And like today's like, we actually can make it happen. And so I just, the pain points and all the painful stuff that happened along the way, was completely necessary for us to build out the infrastructure to make this happen. So you know, dude, if you don't grind for it, it's not worth it at the end. And so this is grinding, and here we are, man. It's awesome, bro.
Also, we're launching 2 different things on one day, 2 different products,
man?
a lot of announcements. Send it, right? The Bells Discord, man. A lot of people are not even understanding what Ethereum even is. So we'll dive into that. It's actually been quite exciting leading up to this. I'm proud of the team and everybody who's got here during crunch time. First and foremost, dude, shout out to everyone on the live stream. We've got looks like about 30 people watching on live stream. So shout out to you guys. If there's any questions along this conversation, please post it in there, or make sure you post some questions down in the bottom right-hand corner underneath the spaces so that we can answer this. I made a fancy PowerPoint presentation, feeling like I'm back at UNLV, dude, building PowerPoints for my professors. First and foremost as well, please everyone retweet the spaces. It's pinned to the top. Retweet the spaces or retweet the live stream so that everyone can see this, and then also be able to share this right afterwards. I want to make the rounds. First and foremost, Shannon, our founder, man. This is the first time we've had you on a Spaces in quite some time. It's very, very exciting, man. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling jazzed. I'm really excited to roll all this stuff out finally. It's been a long time coming. Like you said, it's grind.
Long time. Yeah, I'm really, really excited, man. You've really done a good job. And so we'll go into that. But Chris as well, one of our newest team members at Emblem Vault, bro. How are you feeling today?
Good morning, man. Super energized. A ton going on. It's good to be up here with everyone. Shannon, an absolute wizard, has been working like a madman. Adam, nonstop in the Discord. Jake, just always doing his thing. So super great to be here. What an epic day. Let's get into it.
Yes, sir. And last but not least, one of our favorite co-hosts, Dogfather. We've come a long way, my friend, since the historical NFT days. How are you feeling today?
Yo. What's up? Yeah, I'm excited to hear what Shannon is sharing. I see a few friends from the Doge Party community, like Doja Mint, Ernest, J-Dog, of course, Diogo. So we are looking forward. We're not saying when, but I mean, we are really excited.
I know, me too. I've really been saying that as well. All right, so I made a presentation. I'm going to make sure that I can see this. So, Adam, let me know. Can you guys, can you see this? Hold on,
Yep,
let me make sure that we have this set up. All right, so here we go. January 2024, man. It's been, again, quite a wild ride. I also realized today is February 1st, but it's just the way that it worked out. So we'll be doing a town hall once a month. So the next one will be during the 29th. And the reason why we're doing this is it's setting goals and standards for us at Emblem Vault, but also for the community. We're working on our communication. The team has been growing, and we'll go into that here in a second. So first thing is an overview. I think this is about 20 different slides or so. We're going to cover everything from the legacy migration, the Embel's cross-chain mint through our Emblem Vault pad to co-vault partnerships, etc. Again, so I want to go first and foremost, kind of review what's happened over the last, we'll say, year and a half since Adam and I have joined. Adam and I officially joined Emblem Vault November 1st, 2022. That was an exciting time. We had reached out to Shannon and to Eric at Emblem Vault with this idea to build a historical NFT marketplace. Ultimately, they said, hey, just come join us. And that evolved quite quickly, I have to say. Once the proliferation of Bitcoin ordinals, this was like lightning striking, like the fourth time for Emblem Vault. We were like, okay, this is bigger than historical NFTs. This is all about cross-chain functionality and I usually call it crypto interoperability. So from there, we deployed the first ERC 1155 curated collection in December. For those that stuck around, this was the Emblem test collection, right? And then in February, the first Bitcoin ordinals was vaulted, and we added Taproot support. And the reason why that's notable is that's the first way that Bitcoin ordinals were trading on, or trading in general, I guess outside of just OTC spreadsheets, but trading on chain, which was unique. We added Taproot support, and that was the first wallet support that had been added to Emblem Vault in quite some time. And so some other few key features or key things to note. Right after Bitcoin ordinals, I think it was in March, this is when the royalty thing became an issue. Emblem had been primarily generating revenue through royalties and through Cobalt vault payments. But the Cobalt vault payments was, I think, what was it, 250 Cobalt, came out to like $5. And so because of the royalties going to zero and the existing business model at that time being $2 for vaulting, we realized very quickly, hey, this is not sustainable at all. So we moved to ETH payments shortly after that, and that was a big upgrade. And then a few months later, Rare Pepe Curated was launched in April of 2023, and then a few weeks after, Spells of Genesis was launched as well, both of those being ERC 1155 contracts. And so then shortly after that, and seeing, you know, some success with it, we said, hey, you know, if we're going to build this, if we're going to build Emblem markets and this idea of, you know, cross-chain future, we need to support ERC 721s as well. So we came out of the gate with ERC 721 with ETH-scriptions, which I don't know if you remember that time. This was also the first time that ETH-scriptions was able to trade in general. So just as Bitcoin ordinals happened and traded, same thing happened with ETH-scriptions. And actually right before that was Bitcoin stamps as well. So just as what had happened in 2021 with Rare Pepe and Namecoin assets and et cetera, same exact thing was happening 2 years later, but just in a little bit of a different sense. We then launched the BRC20 collections, ORDI and OXBT. And it was at this point when we realized, hey, if we're going to scale this thing, we can't have every single collection on one smart contract. It was not working. If you guys remember Emblem Legacy, it was deployed in September of 2020. So it did not have any of the new features that had existed since the NFT ecosystem blew up in 2021. So we made this very, very hard decision. It was, hey, we're going to take 50,000 assets from 12 different blockchains and about 50 different collections, and we're going to attempt to move them to 40 different smart contracts. And to say the least, this is maybe 10 to 20 times more smart contract migrations that has ever existed before. We even reached out to Goblin Town to ask about their migration. And so here we're really in uncharted territories. We're taking a massive risk. We're saying, hey, we're going to pause the way that Emblem makes revenue in order to create a more efficient ecosystem. But what's on the other side of this and how we're going to go about this is really tough. And right, for all the frustrations that everyone will remember, we said originally 2 to 3 weeks, and now we're 6 months into this, right? But happy to say, this is finally the end coming here shortly. But Shannon, dude, for a little bit of, the back end developer perspective, take us through kind of your thoughts of going through migration and then getting a month into it, realizing like how big of a hurdle or lift it actually was.
Well, like so many other things, I learned mostly that I'm really bad at estimates. That soon is a meme for a reason, I think. But yeah, so I was really gung ho about sort of moving into the migration. I really thought I had a handle on it. But then sort of as I started diving in and really sectioning and organizing and grouping all of these, 50,000 different NFTs, I realized just how different they all were and how much complexity there was to the whole thing. So I had to, take multiple approaches as I sort of go through this, because I'm like, okay, well, this isn't going to work. Ultimately, made it to where we are today. So
this is when we realized that it wasn't just a migration. It was actually just a complete Emblem vault overhaul from the entire system.
Yeah. So one of the things that I realized that as I was going through, I was like, looking at all of these old vaults, vaults that were made years and years ago, version 1, like at this point, the current vaults that are made are in the back end, they're technically version 10. So that means that over the years, I've made 10 different iterations of what a vault is and how it works and how it functions and what it looks like in the back end and what it can hold and how you can open it.
And now here
so
we
yeah,
are today.
going through all those, I realized that if I was going to be doing this, I might as well solve every single bug that I discover. And you know, when dealing with this dynamic system where anybody can sort of create anything, they can name it anything, and they can put anything in it, you end up with really wild stuff out there.
Yeah, we learned we've identified about 600 different edge cases, which is, we'll talk about that a little bit once we get to the migration section. But yeah, some of the things that people stuff inside of these vaults, old school, anything from literally full rare Pepe supplies to assets from 5 different blockchains or 10 different blockchains to just things that you really are unsure or uncertain of. And also some of the early features like private vaults and some of that stuff. So
private vaults posed an interesting problem. We don't know what's inside of a private vault. We just don't have that information. That the balance or the deposit addresses are encrypted, and only the user that created that vault knows what's in there. So you know, that's part of what led us to this decision. And okay, well, we're going to need to have some sort of open collection for the people to experiment into, and that's where these private vaults are going to fit as well, just because we can't really know where else they would go.
Yeah, it's been completely interesting to say the least. But coming back to the the slideshow, after we went through this migration and we realized the massive hurdle or the massive lift, we were like, man, we need to get Shannon help as soon as possible. Although we've been talking about it for quite a while. If you didn't know, Emblem was a small team. When Adam and I joined the team, there was 2 other people, Shannon and Eric. So when Adam and I joined, it was 4, but there was still 1 single developer. So we went in and we just added 2 people to the team. Chris, who's on stage here. Chris, I'll let you, since you're on stage, man. If you just want to give a brief introduction and background for those who may not be familiar with you.
Yeah, man, for sure. Happy to. Graduated from UNLV, went into Wynn Resorts, was the youngest senior marketing executive in Wynn Nightlife. I've been in crypto since 2016. Met up with Jake kind of around end of 2019, maybe 2020, and really started getting to crypto full time with native research. In the meantime, I was growing a startup called Forever Home Realty. It's a real estate investment brokerage. We grew to like 180 agents about, and then we dissolved it into a publicly traded company. And then, just was trading, was investing on the side, and was super impressed by the Emblem product. And Jake's passion for it was just incredible over the years. And so I had no choice. I was like, man, you guys look like you might need some help. I'm pretty sure I can help grow this out with you guys. And we've been checking along ever since. So it's been fantastic.
I got to give a little update here, Jake, because people are like bombing me. Gas has gone up to like 70 Gwei. So we've obviously broken Ethereum. So you might want to wait if you're minting right now. Gas is absolutely crazy. So yeah, just a heads up for anybody listening. I know a lot of people from the Bells Discord are in here. Like, what's happening? I'm, $80 to mint or something. So that's what's happening, guys. Gas is crazy.
Yeah, so that's for MBells. We have a section on that. Yesterday, also just as a preface, last night when I was testing, when Gwei was around 15, it came out to about $35 to mint, $25 for the fee and $10 for gas. Obviously, if gas is 80, then yeah, you can wait. There's 10,000 assets, so I don't expect this to fully mint out within the next 24 hours, but who really knows? Yeah, we'll dive into that. But go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, so just kind of spent my time mostly trading, focusing on investing in real estate and crypto. And we had native research together where we were pioneering crypto in the Vegas kind of scene. Had the largest crypto meetup here in town. Was just really trying to get everybody on board on what we thought was the most important movement. And we were just way too early. Nobody understood anything that we were saying. So trying to get these, major casinos, major Fortune 500 companies on board to crypto previously was basically an impossible task. And so Jake went on to Emblem, and his passion was just incredible. And everyone sees the vision for the multi-chain future, but their approaches are a lot different. But something like Emblem is just additive and it's not subtractive at all. And so it's so flexible in between all these different chains and how you can interact with them without actually moving the native asset. And so we're pretty confident that this is the right way forward. And it's just incredible to see with the launch today how much progress has been made and how much versatility the product is going to have. Shannon, you're an absolute legend. Eric, absolute legend. Everything that's been built so far is just truly incredible. And this is really, really just the beginning. So exciting road ahead.
Absolutely. And we also added our good friend Swapna, who is a very experienced developer. She was one of the first 100 Coinbase employees. She was there from 2017 to 2021, leaving under her own discretion and to pursue other opportunities. We've been friends for a little while. Unironically, also met up at Chris and I's crypto meetups in Vegas. So that's where we were originally introduced from. And she'd always been interested in helping out and, becoming more involved in the blockchain space, less on the enterprise space. And she's been learning a lot and she's been very helpful to really accelerate to where we are today.
Lesson learned, guys, is go to crypto meetups, man. I mean,
yeah.
seriously, it's like the thing, man. It's true, dude. It's true. Like putting yourself out there, meeting people. Like if people want to work in the space, this is how it's done. It's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, we're very, very thankful for Swapna to really bring her expertise over to the ecosystem. Between her and Shannon, can get a lot done. Of course, we're always going to be looking for additional developers once we get some further resources. But we're now a team of 6, so this is where you see some of the accelerations really picked up over the last month and a half or so. So moving over to the important question, right? Emblem legacy migration, the thing that we started about 6 months ago. So the reason why the migration started, Emblem cannot scale all vaults within a single collection. The technology is outdated. It was created in 2020. We realized very quickly curation is required. We kind of ran into a similar issue that Artblocks ran into. If you remember Artblocks originally back in 2021, they had all collections on a single contract, and it just makes a horrible experience for discoverability, and we were very aware for that. So we aligned with those views and said, hey, let's kind of follow what they're doing here. And then also, as I mentioned on the previous slide, Emblem needs additional business models. If royalties are going to 0, which they're officially at 0, 29 days from now, we're going to have to figure out different business models to survive this, Emblem has been around since 2016, right? It's been through 2 different bull markets already. There's not a lot of other products and teams that can say that. So with that being said, the progress we've made up to today, we've migrated 25,000 of 50,000 vaults. We had to completely overhaul the ecosystem. Some new features that we've built along this way, jumping, which I'll get into here in a second, bulk mint, time lock the vaults. We had to redo the entire metadata structure, redo the entire database, redo all the APIs. And there's probably a lot more that I'm missing. Again, the timeline was 2 to 3 weeks, reality 6 months, completion today. And the final steps I'm going to go over here in 1 second. But Shannon, if you would like to maybe give a brief explanation of anything that I'd missed technically that you've had to implement through legacy migrations.
No, you covered most of it. Just as the system grew and as we added support, there are lots of different services became sort of flaky, and we were relying a lot on third-party services. So I had to I wanted to handle that. I wanted our if you deposit Solana into a vault, I wanted it to always show up. So spent a lot of time really shoring up the balance side of things. Yeah. It's funny. I actually have an interesting story about Artblocks that I don't think anybody knows about. So at first, before Artblocks actually did their move to individual contracts, they had worked out an agreement with OpenSea, and they had split their collections using metadata only. So if you looked in the old art blocks metadata, it would have a collection tag. And the day that they announced this, I like dove deep into art blocks metadata because it was all undocumented. And we actually supported that metadata strategy from day one, but OpenSea said, "Oh, that we just did that special for them. That's not something that applies to all things." I was like, "Oh my
goodness!" Of course, right? They, I forget what was the term that we use. First class citizens, right? Emblem was not a first class citizen for quite a long time. Finally getting some notoriety here as we've progressed. On the screen here, you could see I have some images. I'll pull up a video. So previously, Emblem had to manually, on our side, push the migrations. That's where we got 25,000 of them through. Ultimately, as you know, the bull market picked up and gas increased, this was not economically feasible for us to migrate anymore for the user. And also, from the back end perspective, it took us about a week to prepare for even the migration itself. So in lieu of everything moving forward, we said, okay, how do we get these assets over? But also, how do we kind of move our product? So we added a migrate button inside of all of the legacy vaults. And if you go to emblem.finance right now, you will see two new tabs that say migrate and jump. And so what these two features are is as so. So migrate is only for legacy vaults. And if you go to advanced options, you'll be presented with multiple buttons that say migrate vault to Emblem Open, to Rare Pepe, to etc. collections. And literally all you got to do is go hit migrate and it'll move the asset over. There's some caveats, which I will explain here in a second. And for jump is what I consider to be a insanely massive breakthrough for cross-chain functionality. So what I mean by this jump means that you will be able to, with a click of a button, move assets in between curated collections that they are appropriate for. So let's say I move my Rare Pepe to the Rare Pepe collection, and then I realize, hey, I want to deposit more assets in this so that I could sell as kind of a bulk offer. You can then migrate it to Emblem Open and then get additional deposit addresses and deposit additional assets in there to sell. Ultimately, what this is going to lead to is once Emblem deploys on Bitcoin ordinals in Q2 and then Solana shortly after that, you'll be able to take your Rare Pepe and within the click of a button, move it to Bitcoin ordinals, move it to Solana, move it back to Ethereum, move it to Blast to go play in their Ponzi's or whatever gamification they're doing. Go move it to eScription for less gas fees, etc. So with the click of a button, moving your NFTs across chain, that is a true cross-chain vision that we wholeheartedly believe in. This makes the entire NFT ecosystem competitive across all blockchains. And what I mean by this is, let's say you have a Rare Pepe and you don't want to pay OpenSea's 2.5% fee, or you're on Magic Eden and you don't want to have to pay royalties. Just go move it to Solana and go trade for free on Tensor or whatever blockchain that you want. Or you want to go do a swap using whatever swap tool on Bitcoin ordinals in a trustless way. That is completely up to you. We are building the tool so users can use the assets in the way that they present it. And I'm going to play a video, and Shannon, I'll let you go ahead and share anything else. If you're there. Are you there?
Oh yeah, I thought you said you were going to play the video. So I just wanted to mention that we will, while it's not going to be live today, within the next week or so, we will be allowing migration cross-chain. So all of the vaults that are on Polygon will soon be able to migrate into qualifying curated collections on ETH, and vice versa. Actually, they won't be able to migrate to Polygon, but we'll be able to migrate from Polygon. And then when the jump is available, it's obviously both ways.
So I have here the video that's playing in the background. This is also, if you go to the Emblem YouTube page, there's a nice tutorial there that I put out. It's 2 minutes long, very simple. It's a few steps, and it shows you in this video how to migrate. I did the Rare Pepes, the basketball card, quite quickly. The only thing you have to pay for is gas. For migrate, there is no vaulting fee. So you're just paying for gas. When it was around 20 Kuwait, I think I paid around $13 for it. So again, there's no rush. There's no time decay to this. You could migrate them whenever you want. Emblem Legacy is what we call maintenance mode. So we are maintaining it, but we're not pushing any active upgrades to the collection. And all the new benefits will be there. So you could go to the YouTube page and go ahead. When it comes to jump, there will be a vaulting fee as you move it across blockchains. That feature will come soon, and we'll be sure to announce it because it will all tie in very well together with the new Emblem Finance front end and Emblem.markets, which I will go ahead and explain here pretty shortly. So go ahead, Shannon. Do you have something to say?
Yeah, so one of the things I wanted to mention where this is a little bit different from the large chunk that we migrated. So when we migrated vaults, we, those are actual assets that live on our users' wallets, right? We can't actually move those. So what's different when users use the migrate buttons, their legacy vault is actually destroyed. So you will see it disappear from your wallets and from OpenSea when you use the migrate button, which is a slightly different experience than happened previously.
Those original legacy vaults might become historical NFTs at some point in time. Then is what you're telling me.
Yeah, so there's about half of them that are still technically hanging out there.
I've seen a few people in our Discord note or prospect the possibility of those original legacy vaults becoming something of a collector's item because they were the first essentially cross-chain vaults, right? The first way to move NFTs across chain, as Emblem was one of the first NFT protocols to really exist outside of marketplaces, at least from my research. So we'll have to see. We might have to add serial numbers to all the vaults like ordinals just to add some collectability. Here on the next page, again, I talked about this briefly, but so it's here up on text. There's a one-way migration. There's no vaulting fee when it comes to migration. All your assets move with the vault. So what I mean by this, and please make sure you really understand this, because all of the assets are tied to a single private key. As of now, there is no way to split them up and mint them. So if I have a Nakamoto card, a DJ Pepe, and I don't know, like a shitcoin card, all in a single vault, those will all move in unison. So if you sell that, then they will all be sold together. So if that is something, if you want to migrate them and there's multiple valuable assets that you'd like to split up, you'll have to manually unvault and revault them. But the issue we ran into that was very common is a lot of the counterparty holders like to airdrop assets. So there's about 70 Nakamoto cards in the legacy vaults that all have just random airdrops to them. And those were the ones that were not migrated because it's almost impossible for our system to evaluate unique assets and say, hey, we should move these all to Nakamoto because this one's more valuable, right? There's no on-chain kind of value system for that. So we had to manually go through the remaining, 3,000 Rare Pepe vaults and see what the hell was really going on. And ultimately, there was a few counterparty cards that were airdropped to like many of these collections. So you can actually bypass that if you hide the assets inside, and you'll be able to migrate to Rare Pepe. I also want to note this as well. We identified about 600 unique edge cases between different types of assets, the 10 different variations of legacy vaults to, different types of owners and heirs. So if you open up your legacy vault and there's not a collection that's there. So for example, we have 40 different smart contracts laid out. If you open up your Doge Party vault and it does not say migrate to Doge Party, we could have missed that. So please go into our Discord and say, hey, I think my vault should be eligible to be migrated to this collection, and we'll manually spin it up. And we should have that implemented quite shortly. Again, right? Because of the variabilities and us being, 6 people on a team and also not owning a lot of these high value cards, right? Like I don't own a Nakamoto card. I don't own an FD card. I don't own a Bitcoin Punk, right? That's in the vault. So we weren't able to manually test these. So there could be some misses. So please don't get frustrated if you go into your Bitcoin Punk vault or your Megapunk vault, and it doesn't say migrate to Megapunks. It just says migrate to Bitcoin ordinals. Literally all we got to do is just plug it in on the back end. So please just go into the Discord, or I guess you could just go onto Twitter and say, when, fix this. This sucks, whatever. I'll take the heat. It's not a big deal. But please, again, there's probably a few that was missed. Not obviously intentionally. It's just there is a lot of different variabilities to this, which makes it incredibly difficult.
Dude, you do not realize what 50,000 is until you actually have to deal with 50,000. 50,000 is impossible to deal with. On a technical level, it's literally just, it's mind-bendingly complex when you get into situations like this. And so it's once you dive into it, you realize that, there are a million edge cases. And so yeah, don't get too frustrated. Just ping Jake on Twitter.
And then so for once we move past migration, right, the jump is what will take place. Right now, you'll be able to move between curated collections, so between the 40 smart contracts that we have. The future, you'll be able to move them between blockchains in a single transaction. The jump fee will be, $20. It'll be mimic whatever the vaulting fee is, and we'll just call them vault interactions. Shannon, is there anything that I missed in terms of criteria or any additional notes when it comes to the migration button?
No, just if you see anything weird, please let us know, and we'll do our best to help as promptly as we can. Like what Adam said, 50,000 vaults and the the ridiculous amount of permutations of different edge cases. And I think with the new collections that we'll be launching and we can't talk about today, I think at this point we're dealing with over 60 contracts, which is just a management nightmare. And then, like you said, Jake, it's difficult to test when we don't have actual concrete vaults that have these particular asset combinations in them. So
yeah, I got some details on that coming up shortly. So this next page that I've pulled up, if you're not watching the live stream, is curated collections. So the reason why I put this slide up is to really just visualize what's going on. I know for most people who enter the Emblem ecosystem, you're just immediately confused as there's so much complexity to it, right? Like in the Embells Discord, when we posted the embells.xyz to go mint, they're like, wait, this is Ethereum? I thought I was on Bells. Why didn't you deploy this on ordinals? Why didn't you do this on Solana? Right? It's tough to understand it. So here for curated collections, the first thing that I put up here is ERC 721, ERC 721A, ERC 1155. So these are the three contract standards that we have, right? So preferably ERC 721A and 1155. 1155 is what Rare Pepe uses. ERC 721A will be like what Bitcoin Punks uses, or what DGods uses, Bitcoin DGods, etc. So moving in the different collections or blockchain or protocols that we support Bitcoin ordinals, BRC20, Counterparty, Stamps, SRC20, Stacks, STX20. On Ethereum, we support all the Ethereum L2s, ETHscriptions, anything that uses an Ethereum address, we support. Litecoin ordinals, LTC20. We support Doge Party. DRC20 and Doginals is interesting. I've reached out to a few teams about, getting their API. They're using their API to create our balance checker. Still waiting on that. So whenever that comes through, then happy to add support for Doginals. Bell's Coin, right? We have the Bell cryptocurrency, ERC 1155. That was a new feature, and I'd be curious if other blockchain ERC 1155 collections would be interesting. We've had this kind of conversation where if you could trade bells, on chain, I could create essentially a Bitcoin ERC 1155, and now you could trade Bitcoin on chain without a DEX, right? You just trade it privately as well, right? Create a private vault, throw the Bitcoin in it, go trade it around, and now you're trading Bitcoin on chain. To me, that seems like a big breakthrough, but ultimately, right, Adam, we just put products out, and sometimes it surprises you who's interested in what.
Yeah, it's almost impossible to say, and that's why I'm always so bullish on what Emblem's done, because we found market fit on products already, right? A lot of stuff is built in the blockchain space, especially, that It's just devs working, and they don't know if it's ever going to, if users are ever going to actually use it. And we know users are going to use this because they already are, right? So it's just a matter of making it more, even better. And really, I mean, we're all just preparing for this bull market, which, I mean, look, the feeling right now is Solana is happening, and it's happening on Solana, right? If we can be ready for that, let's go. Because like, who doesn't want to bring their ordinals onto Solana if Solana's marketplace is popping off, right?
Yeah,
Who's not going to want to do that?
fees.
Yeah, let's do it.
What else we support? We support Monocoin, Monoparty, right? There's some older NFTs on there. Namecoin, right? The domains, identities, the non-standard registrations. Namecoin also comes with auto renewal. Yes, Namecoin is not gonna lie, a massive pain in the ass, to say the least. It's just
early blockchains suck.
It's literally, you talk about Adam reviving Bell's coin. Namecoin was the first altcoin, right? And so there's a lot of clunkiness to it, but there's a lot of valuable relics on there that collectors, including myself, enjoy. And so we're here to support Namecoin. The community's been very patient with us. Also with them knowing that there's just a lot of complexity that goes into Namecoin, but we are going to continue to expand on it and add different collections. The Namecoin auto renewal feature is really awesome, right? You throw your Twitter egg and some Namecoin in there, it will renew. The awesome part here is as we move into curated collections, we can now actually upgrade the contracts and fix some of the stuff that was not able to be fixed on the legacy contract. So that was also another reason to migrate. So a feature, right? We went over Jump as well. Some of those things that you could look forward to for curated collections, multi-protocol curated collections. So things like, hey, I deployed, I have DGOD. We'll use DGODs for an example here. I have DGODs on Solana. I have DGODs on ETH. I have DGODs on Bitcoin. We could create a curated collection to where all three of those are literally in one single smart contract, so that you can have them side by side. For another example would be like Bunzi, who does mullet punks on 5 or 6 different protocols. You'd be like, hey, can I just have these all in one area or on one smart contract so that my collectors can kind of have an aggregation of price and to have a better selection. So that is coming. And then obviously the big one is deploying on Bitcoin ordinals, deploying on Solana, deploying all the ETH L2s. I think that is really at least the final state for now. That is our priority. We'll begin, Bitcoin ordinals. I'll talk about that kind of at the end. But moving between those two and the ETH L2s, right, like Blast and Base and stuff, that is where we want to be. Best way to think about Emblem is the crypto shipping center. This is the way that I do it. Emblem is a package. The package, you can put anything. You can put cryptocurrencies. You can put NFTs. You could even put any types of messages like chat rooms and different things that are not just tokens inside of it, and move it across chains, right? So when Emblem deploys on Bitcoin ordinals, you can now bring any asset into Bitcoin. You want to bring Ethereum, you want to bring Solana, you want to bring in your CryptoPunk, your Bored Ape, your, Solana Undead, and all these new things that once we deploy on ordinals, that is what's possible. Will it be valuable? Will it have value? What will users do with it? I have no idea, right? That's kind of the idea, but there's a lot of interest around it. And we actually have a pretty awesome launch partner with it. Might catch you guys by surprise when that does happen. So we're very excited for that. Here is Emblem.finance, the front end, the new front end. Here's a little video tutorial you can see. This is something we've been working on for quite a while. Here's a few benefits for it. It's going to be mobile friendly. You're going to be able to mint vaults on your mobile. The fact that we weren't able to do this up until this point is just still mind-blowing to me. You could create 50,000 vaults with no mobile experience. That just shows product market fit. Some of the things coming to the new Emblem front end. And again, the things you see here on the screen are subject to change. It is going to be reskinned. And there will be some additional changes. Create vault. You're going to have 3 different options on there, which will be a little bit more simplistic. My vaults, you'll have a page where you can categorize it either by images or kind of blur style as listing. There's going to be an activity page. This is the thing that I'm actually most excited for. The activity page on Emblem.finance, you will be able to see all vaulting activity across all collections, across all blockchains. So if a vault is minted on Bitcoin ordinals in the future, it's minted on Solana, somebody opens a Rare Pepe vault on Ethereum, that'll all be nicely categorized in one single page. To me, that is, if you're a speculator or a trader, to me, that is probably the thing that you want to be watching as the activity feed. And then we're also adding a leaderboard, right? Points or no points, you'll be able to see whoever owns the most vaults, who's burned the most vaults, who's created the most vaults. And we have some additional plans for this as well as we move forward. This will be kind of our focus in February. We worked with another team to get this up and running, right? As we started this project before Swapna had joined us. So we're pretty close to nearing this and completing it. Adam, how are you feeling about this front end?
Bro, you had me at mobile. You know what I'm saying? I mean, really, like, look, we talk about it all the time, but crypto is not friendly for the rest of the world. Like, the rest of the world needs crypto to be many, many times better. And so I'm super, it's just like, we just have to get there. And that's user experience across the board. And I mean, we've talked about it since day one with Emblem. It's like, we have to be mobile friendly. Like, we're building for the future, not for the past. And so, yeah, I'm beyond bullish there.
Shanna, any thoughts on a new Emblem.finance front-end V2? And then also just a little explanation, because some users have just comment requests. They ask, why is Emblem.finance broken? Why is it this? Why is it that? Or whatever. So maybe a comment on saying goodbye to the past and looking to the future.
Yeah, I'll address the last statement first, actually. The original Emblem.finance was based on a Uniswap fork that was made by the original creator of Uniswap. But he made sort of a demo page or a non-branded Uniswap page. So we based it off of that. Well, he stopped maintaining that, and it was different than the public Uniswap front end. So over the years, just things have deteriorated that have been impossible to fix and upgrade. For example, one of the biggest problems we have is the Wallet Connect and MetaMask integration. The libraries that the old website used, they're not maintained and they haven't been updated. And MetaMask has gone through 2 major upgrades, and like WAGMI has been released, and there's been Rainbow Wallet has been released. So there's a number of these new libraries that just won't sort of fit into the old site due to not being able to upgrade certain libraries. So the new site, I'm really excited about it because it's able to use everything, and we're building it with all the lessons that we've learned from the past, right? So we know better how to maintain libraries and dependencies so that we can move forward and always upgrade as the new technology is released. But to summarize sort of the whole thing, the thing that might not be obvious here is that, one, I really appreciate everybody being patient. And I know that it's felt like that it's been stalled for a long time. But in the back end, we've been basically building all of this so that we can steamroll forward now. Soon has arrived. Like, at this point, it's just like today where we're announcing so many things, and it's going to continue sort of like that as as the weeks progress. We'll be like, okay, well, this site that we're looking at now is reskinned, and boom, we launched it. So I think at this point we have been building towards and are near release to just about everything that we've talked about for many years. And again, so it's like, as we sort of stir up some of these features that we're talking about today, especially with the cross-chain migration, what comes next is the cross-chain jumping and cross-chain minting, and then it's just a matter of scale. It's like we've got, I think last time I checked, there were over 360 EVM chains. We've got multiple protocols on Bitcoin, right? So we could technically deploy vaults onto ordinals. We could deploy vaults into counterparty. We could deploy vaults into the new counterparty broadcast capabilities. There's just and then that's what Emblem is, right? We will be everywhere so that all of the people that have NFTs can also be everywhere.
It's exciting. One of my favorite narratives is when Emblem deploys on Bitcoin, whether it's first through ordinals and through counterparty, it's returning home. Emblem started on Bitcoin back in 2016, so left Bitcoin in 2019 because of the environment where they were dissuading or going against builders on building on anything on Bitcoin. So the journey home is exciting.
It's fun. We've the first migration that we had was off of the original coin, the Ribbit Rewards coin that was many, many years ago. And we migrated from that sort of a Bitcoin clone over to Counterparty. And I guess that's our legacy, is this, being able to jump from chain to chain, as much as being able to containerize your assets from one place or another. Just we've been sort of doing this cross-chain movement since before it was a thing.
Yeah, since 2014. That's how early this is. Like, that's you guys don't understand. Like, the idea of Emblem's been around for 10 years. Like, that is unheard of in the crypto space. Absolutely unheard of. For those that are listening, you may not see this on the video, but there's actually going to be a new in-vaulting experience, right? So, like, right now, if you're going to go migrate your assets, you have to go to the vault, hit advanced options. We're going to have a little bit more of a detailed in-vaulting experience that's going to give you a lot more options. So underneath your asset, it'll say marketplaces and loans, like you could see here on the screen. I'll pause it. So down here, it says marketplaces. You'll drop down. You could click on any type of marketplace. Here with loans, it'll say Arcade and NFTFi, etc. You click on that, it'll take you directly to the page on NFTFi so that you could borrow against. We have a few other ideas as well, and we want to keep adding these different drop downs to show you what you could do with the vaults, right? So we'll have the jump button inside this new, it'll say jump, and then you can move it to wherever you want. You can, whenever there's a new, if we create a new token standard that maybe it needs to be migrated to, or any type of new protocol that pops up, we're going to continue adding different options here. And this is where our partnerships will really come into play to add that. We're happy to, take this, what you call prime real estate ad space inside of every single asset, inside of every single vault. Anybody who's interested and you're watching this and you're like, hey, I want to take Bitcoin frogs into my Gamblefy product. Can we add a Gamblefy drop down so that users could just be redirected to our site so that they can put the vault there? Yeah, we're happy to do that. This is what Emblem does. We partner with people, and we allow users the ability to do whatever they want with it. We take the information, present it to you, and feel free to do whatever you like. So that is exciting. Moving on, right? One of the biggest questions we've got, one thing we've been building towards, Emblem Markets. So what the hell is Emblem Markets, right? What does this mean? Is it a marketplace? Is it a platform? It's everything. So we're building towards this idea of a chain agnostic experience and marketplace, which is a little bit different than what a cross-chain marketplace may be, like something you're seeing like what Magic Eden's doing, or OpenSea was trying to do this, and so on. Whereas I'll just and Magic Eden is absolutely crushing it, and I use their platform a lot. They're definitely somebody to mimic towards. We have a little bit of a different perspective in terms of like how cross-chain marketplaces should look. And because we have this product called Emblem Vault, we can attack it in a different way. So what the idea of like a chain agnostic marketplace means is that you have one collection that represents all the different blockchains, and you can purchase the asset with any currency and have it delivered on any blockchain that you want. So here's an example. And this is, again, speculating a little bit into the future, but this is the vision. One rare Pepe collection, right? If I'm a seller and I want to sell a Nakamoto card, I have it listed, right, in USD or Ethereum, and then the buyer, but you list it, right? And you say, hey, I want the payment. If this sells for $200,000, I want it in Bitcoin. But then the buyer comes in and says, hey, I'll pay 200K, but I want to pay for it in Ethereum. That's okay, right? And then the buyer says, hey, this Nakamoto card exists on Ethereum, but I want it delivered on Solana, right? So now you have 3 different blockchains being involved in this transaction. For the user, that shouldn't matter. For us, we should do it all on the back end. So the user could come in, pay $200,000 in Ethereum, and then, that could be converted, and the seller can then get that payment in Bitcoin. And then the buyer also will have it revaulted from Ethereum to Solana, right? A lot of things going on the back end, but that's what we believe what a chain agnostic marketplace could look like. So we're building towards it. Obviously, right now, Emblem is only on Ethereum, BNB, and Polygon. And those last 2 need a lot of updating, but that's kind of the idea here. One thing we also are adding is an app store. So there's a lot of builders who use Emblem Vault and our SDK and our APIs to build aggregators, to build marketplaces. They want to build native vaulting experiences, right? Build the vaulting right into your marketplace or your product. And Emblem is also building, Emblem is also building products as well, right? Like today we launched a Vault Pad. And also users want to use our SDK and our API. So this will all be packaged into the App Store, where we will showcase products or platforms that are using Emblem Vault APIs or services in some capacity. We will also, this is also where like the Vault Pad will exist, bulk minting options, etc. So those are the 2 things that will be rolled out. Right here at the bottom, I have a few redacted things that are to be determined and will be rolled out over time, right? There's a lot of options and things that we can do, but we just got to get it spun up. Again, Emblem Markets is Emblem Markets we're building with additional help as well. We started Emblem Markets before Swapna and Chris had joined the team. So this is also another ongoing product. Again, chain agnostic experience, mobile ready, right? They can and likely will be some reward functionality to it in the future. Cross-chain interoperability. Adam, tell me what your thoughts are on Emblem Markets, the vision, and there's also a little tutorial that I'm going to play next. It's short, it's not complete yet by any means, but we're hoping to have it out here soon. This is one, now that we have legacy migration kind of packaged and finalized to the most part, we can really focus on completing Emblem Markets.
Yeah, I think like if you I think it was Bunzi who put out a tweet a couple weeks ago where he just had an image of like 7 wallets or 8 wallets, right? And if you, I, and probably most people in this space have this experience where you literally have all these wallets, all these different chains, right? And if you think about it, what we're trying to do is say, what's your main wallet? Okay, so mine's MetaMask, right? I use Ethereum mainly. And I know Chris, his main one is probably Phantom on Solana or something, right? Why do you have to deal with more than one wallet? Why can't you just buy what you want to buy, receive it where you want to receive it? That's what we're building. And like it's here. And that infrastructure is simply just way different than what Magic Eating's building, where select your wallet, and it's you still have to have those 7 wallets, right? And what we're building is different, where you can be siloed. You can have one wallet and just receive whatever asset you want in that one ecosystem. I think it's transformative, and we'll see. It's going to be, look, we're early in this process, and it may take another 10 years for us all to fully understand, oh, that's the way it worked out, right? Because nobody on earth really knows the way it's going to work out. But our way, I think, is the way that's going to be the simplest and the easiest for people. And simple and easy often is the winner. So we'll see how it goes, man. It's going to be a fun fight.
Yeah, I have some thoughts on it too, which I'll cover kind of in the Vault Pad. I do want to ask Chris as well, who's somebody who jumps across chains and mainly hangs out on Solana. Why would something like this, a chain agnostic experience, be important? And what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I've been going cross chain since since it was possible. Basically, was super into Bitcoin for years. Was really into Ethereum for years. Migrated over to AVAX, Near, all over the place, and really just kind of really like the UI of Solana and the speed and kind of just experience on there. So I spend most of my time on that chain. But with something like Emblem, it's so compatible across chains that you can have all of your collectibles in a single wallet if you'd like to. You can have all of your borrow and lending in a single wallet, in a single place if you'd like to. And also it opens up a ton of different arbitrage opportunities. If all of these collections are available across chains, and for some reason there's a ton of liquidity on the ETH side and the prices are mismatched compared to the Solana side, you can vault over and sell your asset over there. And so it just opens up a ton of different experimentations that we haven't really completely thought out so far. It's just a totally new additive way to transact and kind of really connect with these assets across chains. So as we kind of build out these functionalities, the possibilities and the things that people are going to be doing are going to even surprise us, to be honest.
100%. Yep.
Tough to know. Meet collectors where they are, meet traders where they are. Shannon, I know you've thought about the idea of Emblem markets for a while. I remember hearing it even back in 2021. And again, right, you're so early to the cross-chain kind of ideas, even discussing things like cross-chain NFT swaps even before 2020. Just take us through, your vision of Emblem markets, and I guess technically some just context around it.
Yeah. So yeah, since the beginning, we wanted a marketplace. We wanted the ability for users to essentially just trade their vault between each other. I sort of grew up loving swap meets and places where you can trade stuff. I grew up trading sports cards and non-sports cards with my friends at school. So the trading itself didn't really exist, and ultimately we learned that it didn't take off. It's not what everybody's specifically interested in. And what I'm mostly excited about is that the marketplace and the app store is the culmination of really paying attention to how our users have been using this stuff. From the beginning, we built this platform that lets people experiment by moving their stuff where they want it. And, as they've done this, we've had lots of different requests for different types of things. And what that's evolved into is this entire cross-chain abstraction where the user won't really have to care where it is and where they want it and what they're paying with and all of that. They just kind of see what they want, get the price all in one place. But then the App Store is really exciting for me because over the years I've built partially or a bunch of experimental things. There's a contract that exists that does let you take any two NFTs and do a cross-chain swap for them. Or now this was before OpenSea's on-chain protocol existed. You can do that with their protocol now. But again, there's been tons of these little things that I've built that people might find value in. But they're not really it's not something that we would create an entire product around and market it and, have a great user experience, but we still want other people to experiment with. So we'll be able to publish all of these things that I've been building over the years on that app store. And that's really exciting.
Yeah, I couldn't be more bullish on it. We definitely have now that Legacy's done, that it's going to be one of our major focuses to get out. Of course, right, the chain agnostic experience is going to take some time to build too. So it'll exist on Ethereum and we'll continually build on it. One of the next key components that we released earlier this month is the Emblem SDK. This is something that a lot of people have asked for. Just in short, it empowers developers the ability to add vaulting capabilities into their website. Utilizing our SDK, you get a range of functionalities, and we've been continually adding based off requests and as we've been building. Shannon, would you like to kind of just add why is the Emblem SDK important, and how do users, or how do we go about adding other things to it? Maybe that's a builder wants to use, but they don't see a specific core functionality in it.
Yeah, so a couple of things. I'm extremely excited about this. So reel me in if I get off track. So I've been a solo developer at this point for quite a few years, right? So as we have brought on development help and started working with these external teams, I've really had to change how I develop. And sort of as a side effect of that has been this Emblem SDK. Because ultimately what I wanted to do is sort of take the noise that is this complex backend system and pull it forward to where Swapna can build stuff with it easily without having to spend months really understanding the nitty-gritty underneath. So as I've done that, I realized that, well, wait a minute, if I can encapsulate this and make this easy for us to grow our development team, I can just as easily release that to our partners. And we've constantly had, over the years, we've had lots of discussions with partners, and oftentimes we haven't been able to execute as fast as we would like because we're 14 features in our roadmap, and where do we fit in this partnership one? So the SDK sort of addresses that as well. So what this ultimately turns into is Emblem now is building a development ecosystem. So our partners can now become builders. So we don't have to release all of these features. It's like somebody else is going to build it because they can, and they don't need my help. They don't need our help or permission, really, usually. I mean, you pull down the SDK and create a particular type of vault that is interesting for your project, and allow people to mint it right there on your site. Didn't have to interact with us at all. On the other hand, if people do want features, there's a community now, and they can sort of request, hey, I was really curious about this. They'll find other people that might be interested in building that type of thing with them. And also, it's more direct access to me. So as I grow the SDK, everything is not encapsulated within this library. So you cannot do everything that the Emblem Vault website can yet. As we build out things like the embellment today, I had to add 2 or 3 different pieces of functionality to the SDK for that. So as these projects grow, and as we release more stuff, I will continually push as much stuff as possible to the SDK, and then deploying the SDK within our products as well. It makes everything run faster too. Like it's if it's running on your computer, which the SDK runs on your computer, it's part of the website. That's infrastructure we don't have to maintain, right? Like all the secure stuff can stay on our servers, and then if you're on a web app that's using the SDK, then a lot of that functionality just kind of runs on your computer. Like the key generation, for example, that stuff is all done locally. So
yeah, couldn't be more excited. A little bit over my head when it comes to development, but Shannon's a gigabrain.
And this is public. There's a public GitHub repository, which I'm sure you can get access to that information. So anybody is welcome to make contributions to that, make changes. It's an ongoing project. There are going to be bugs or exceptions that aren't caught, or different little things that don't make sense. And it's going to continually improve. And I welcome everybody that's playing with it. If they find stuff or things that would be more convenient, please make a contribution and submit a pull request.
Yep. So you could find that at docs.emblem.wiki. That's where the Emblem SDK is, where you just go to the Emblem GitHub. I think it's Emblem Company with all the information in there. You could build things like native vaulting. So pretty much everything that you see on emblem.finance, you could do on your own homepage. You could build aggregators and marketplaces, things like ordinals.market had done beforehand. Pepe.tpf has added the analytics to it. There's tons of different opportunities through it. I don't, Chan, did I miss any types of products that you could do or build with the SDK today?
No, you covered it pretty well. And just ultimately, like if you wanted access to all of the vaults, you wanted to aggregate all of the vaults and query them by chain or by collection or whatever, this is how you would do it in an easy way. Also, the Launchpad is utilizing some of our embed code. So as the SDK matures, you'll be able to do things like let's say you wanted to display your vault on your web page and have a buy now button on there. You'd be able to utilize the SDK to do that, to do just that. Or like Jake said, native vaulting. Not sure if people understand what he means by native vaulting, but that means that you take our SDK and you embed it into your web page, your website, your web app, and people can create vaults and mint vaults and open vaults directly from your web page. So, utilizing our infrastructure, but not our front end.
Yeah, so that is a key breakthrough for me. And also, right, there's a vaulting fee associated with it. We're happy to collaborate with, ongoing or eager, entrepreneurs and builders where we're happy to negotiate that fee so that everyone has a winning situation. We obviously understand what incentives are, and we have a few different methods and verbal agreements with different partners that are going to go about this way. So if this is something that you want, let's say you're hosting counterparty drops or Doge party drops or Doginal drops, and you want them vaulted, right? And you want to vault all 100 or 200 or whatever, but you say, hey, $20 is too expensive. Can we cut this down? And I'll be encouraged to vault them because my users want it on Ethereum or they want it on Dogecoin or whatever. We're happy to talk. So just, shoot us a DM and we'll work through that.
Yep. I actually had an onboarding experience with another project recently on Optimism, and it kind of blew me away at how great it was. And the only real difference is it had a lot of the typical Web3 infrastructure, but there was no wallet. They covered all the fees, right? So with these different systems that we're building, we enable our partnerships to do things like that. Like let's say they were on a blockchain that's relatively inexpensive or practically free to work on, right? They could work with us and we could come up with some model that would enable this type of onboarding.
Yep. Simple idea, right? If you run a Launchpad, whether it's on Stamps or Counterparty or Ordinals or whatever, or you run an inscription service, I think this is kind of an easy layup, which we'll get into here in a second, because at the end of the day, right, we're kind of selling vaults. And here I pulled up here on the screen, this is just a simple demo for the MBELs and the stamps that you could go find in the SDK that you can kind of build and test it directly through your own interface. So that is there, and it just shows that, see, it works. And this is all being hosted not on the emblem.finance page, but this is being hosted on a different page. So you could see here, right, it's a lot of code, but you could see that it's performing a mint and a vault is being created and minting on something that is not just emblem.finance. See, that all happened in about 15 seconds here on the screen.
Yeah, anybody could go and download this web page right now, run it on their local machine, click that button, and they have now created this created this kind of vault, recreated this. Like, this just works out of the box, and that's the beauty of the SDK.
And now here we are today with the Vault Pad, which was released a little bit earlier. So I'm going to go through this, and then I'll let Adam give it a little bit of an explanation. We also have a YouTube video that I will play, as well as the website. So you could go right now to embels.xyz. That is EMBELLS.xyz. You could go experience crypto's first cross-chain launchpad. At least, I try to stay very neutral to saying first, but I've done a lot of research and I've not found anything like this. What is happening under the hood is you're inscribing on Bell's coin and getting it delivered inside of a vault on Ethereum. Again, inscribe on X blockchain, have it delivered on Y blockchain. This is something that we will continually hammer home, getting it delivered on whatever blockchain that you want inside of a vault that is essentially a package, right? That's kind of how I see it. So going through the door here with the Vault Pad, we're very aware people are frustrated with ETH gas fees. We're very aware of this. Emblem exists on Ethereum. It is still it's still on the furthest curve in terms of innovation and offerings from a technical standpoint. Yes, gas fees suck, but to apply here, Ethereum is kind of Emblem's, you call it HQ or home base. So once this is enabled, like we did today, now that MBells, right, it's a Bells coin asset that's delivered on Ethereum. But once we deploy on Solana, once we deploy on Ordinals, MBells will have that ability to move to Bitcoin Ordinals, to move to Solana, to move to Optimism, to move to Blast, to go participate in Blast NFT derivative product that they're doing, right? Like a lot of different optionalities there. That's really exciting. This is the first step to get there, and we are treating MBells. We're treating MBells as a emblem project. We did this with Viva La Vandal, who is down there, one of the great artists on Counterparty, on Stamps, really crushing it. We worked with Graham Bells, who's the creator of Bellscribe, and he inscribed the first Bellinals. And then we worked with Tree, who helped with the Bitcoin Stamps front end versus first mint, right? So this is a highly collaborative thing between everyone to get it together. So MBells, right? You inscribe on Bells coin, you have it delivered on Ethereum as a curated collection. I'll show the OpenSea page here in a second. It's one transaction for the user, right? You're paying an ETH, but there's two transactions happening on the back end. And I had a few people ask how this works. So this is exactly how it works. You click on it on an image, and I'm going to pull up the page here in a second. Click on the MBells that you want, and then you pay an ETH. Once you pay an ETH, a vault is created for that specific MBells. Nobody else can mint, right? So after that transaction's been signed, so it's first. Once the vault is minted, then we're paying Graham's specific Emblem Bellscribe API, which then it inscribes the Bellinals or the MBells and then delivers it to the vault itself. So one reason why we did this is we did not want to pre-inscribe all of these. We felt that it would take away from the experience. We know that inscription numbers are very important as well. And so that's kind of the process. And this can be applied to anything, right? So right now it's inscribe on Bell's coin, deliver on Ethereum. I think the future kind of end case here, and this is the most requested we've had, is inscribe on Bitcoin Ordinals, delivered on Solana. We've had that requested at least 10 times already. Another ones was like inscribe on Doginals and have it delivered on an Ethereum L2. So all these kind of cross-chain launchpads are awesome. Why would anyone want to do this, right? There's a handful of reasons why. The first reason is gas fees, right? Or immature infrastructure right now. So for Bellinals, there's one marketplace. It has limited functionality or limited liquidity. And so, inscribing it on inscribing it and then having it delivered on Ethereum. Yes, I understand gas fees suck, but there's a lot more liquidity on OpenSea than there is on the existing Bellinals marketplaces. So this is one for immature ecosystems. Number two is that it's an opportunity for users or creators to generate some revenue. Right now, the vaulting fee is 25 because we're splitting it and sharing it between all of these different parties. But let's say you're a creator on Bitcoin Ordinals and you're going to inscribe 10,000 Bitcoin Ordinals. That's quite expensive to do, right? You can generate and get some of that revenue back by having it going through the cross-chain launchpad and having it delivered on Solana, because the gas fees on Solana are quite low, so you can probably get a lot of that back. And users could go back and forth as much as they'd like between it. Once that curated collection is there, it's there forever. It's an immutable contract. And then you get access to everything that Emblem has to offer between all of the new tooling that will come. This will be a key feature in our app store. And right now, it's currently available for Bitcoin Ordinals, Stamps, Litecoin Ordinals, Doginals, Bellinals. Insert chain here. We could do it. We originally created this for Bitcoin Ordinals, but the team that we built it for never used it, right? So the issue we've run into with Emblem a lot is people ask for these different types of products. We build it, and then they never use it. So then ultimately, we have to come in and showcase it. And this is exactly what Embells is doing. So Adam, I'd like to pass it off to you for a minute. I'm going to go on to the Embells website. There's a YouTube tutorial, and I'm going to go on OpenSea as well.
Yeah, people are asking me in my DM, why'd you do it to Ethereum? You know, gas prices and stuff. But remember, guys, there's a whole lot of money on Ethereum, right? And you know, if you want liquidity, if you want people to trade it, Ethereum isn't a bad spot to be. And so I think one of the things, like Jake touched on it, right? Inscribing to another blockchain, but I want you guys to think about it also a little bit differently. And this might blow some minds a little bit, but launching a project on Solana and inscribing it into an Emblem vault on Solana. Why would you want to do something like that? Right? First, it's going to be very inexpensive, but second, then your entire project, if you're doing a 10K on Solana and you inscribe directly into Emblem vaults on Solana, it's immediately ready to go across chain. You're simply preparing your entire project for the future, which is cross chain, and you don't know what you're just saying, I don't know where the future is going to hold, but I know that if I launch it into an Emblem vault right from the start, my entire project is ready to go cross chain whenever that happens. And we all know, we see whatever the Psi blockchain or Say blockchain is popping off. Is that going to be the one this cycle that people go crazy on? It might be. It might be Solana. It doesn't really matter. This kind of sets it up for whatever is next. And I think that's the thing that is really, really exciting. I know a lot of, you know, projects are going to take advantage of this in the coming cycle because you simply are saying to yourself, well, we're on Solana. Yeah, that's where we are. That's where our core people are. But we're setting up our holders to be ready for whatever's next. And I think that's amazing. And I know people have, you know, been DMing me, well, why bells? Why'd you do bells? And it's like, dude, if we can do it on bells, bro, we can do it on anything. You know, if we could launch this using Bell's blockchain, which is the clunkiest, most troublesome blockchain in the world right now, bro, when we do this on Solana, it's going to be piece of cake, easy peasy. So we do this because these things are hard, not because they're easy. So thank you, Shannon, for making this happen. Thanks to Graham Bell for making the inscription tool happen. It's been challenging to say the least, but dude, here it is. It's live. It's amazing, man.
So we
I also like.
Go ahead,
Sorry, Dave.
Go ahead.
I'd just like to give an extra shout out to Viva La Vandal. I've been collecting his art for a while. I'm quite honored that we were able to partner with him. These are adorable. I love this stuff. Sorry, go ahead, Jake.
So for an update, we have 473 have been minted out of 10K. So we're approaching about 5% in the first hour. Again, I know the gas fees are a little bit higher. We have 203 unique owners so far. So to me, that's distributions quite well. 203 owners, 473 vaults that have been minted. Very, very exciting. I've had a handful of people reach out and say that this is such a cool tool. I know, you know, it comes out to about 0.02 ETH, right? 0.01 about for the vault or for the fee that's getting shared between everybody. And then for the gas fees as well. I would even say, you know, if you want to participate in this, you're probably going to have some time, whether it's, you know, takes a week or a month. Wait to the weekend, right? If you really want, if you don't want to spend $50 and you'd rather pay $30, you could probably go ahead and mint this on the weekend. I think right now what people are trying to do is snipe rares because it is first is first.
Yep.
Or they're trying to snipe some of the numbers that they like. So that's what's cool about the experience. Because as I've been sitting here kind of going through this on the live stream, I'm seeing some different numbers like 777s being minted, right? All the even numbers. People are trying to look for the traits, and we will add traits once this is minted out, or once we kind of get the system and the metadata enabled, right? So if you go to, again, going back to OpenSea here, you'll see some of the images have rendered, some have not. Shannon, do you want to explain what you have to do to make sure that all the images render and kind of the backend process to that?
Yeah, so the typical process for loading and minting a vault is, you know, you would create a vault, you would load it with your assets. The you'd go onto Emblem Finance page, you'd refresh it until the balance showed up, and then you'd be able to mint it. This sort of takes that model and flips it around a little bit. So what we have is a whole bunch of empty vaults that are minted into this curated collection, and there is a pending inscription order going on in the background. So as these are inscribed, they'll be delivered to the vaults. I need to write some automation, like, as we go through the mint, to automatically check the balances on all of these items and then automatically clear the cache and update OpenSea. So it's going to be, they're going to see placeholders and static images for a while as as the collection gets minted and OpenSea takes a bit to collect or to catch up.
Yeah, so guys, don't worry. We're going to build a bulk refresh tool for this. So please be patient, right? As we know with Bell's coin specifically, there is some lag. The blocks are irregular. The timing is still, to be determined. So
it could take hours, guys. It could literally take hours. So just chill, relax. The inscriptions are going to happen, but it could take a while, many hours. The reality is may take a while to get this fully inscribed. So just relax. It's going to happen. If you want to win a free one, you can see my tweet. It's pinned up top. Throw your ETH address in the replies to the main tweet. And we're definitely going to be giving away some MBells for sure. And so we'll have some winners there. Throw your ETH address in and for a chance to win one of these.
Yeah, as I'm sitting here going through the activity feed, you can see really in the last 15 minutes or so, there's been many unique owners. Like if you look here on the right, it's literally just all unique addresses minting. So I don't know if this got picked up by trading bots or minting bots or whatever it is, right? When they see smart contracts minting, but the mint cost is literally 0.0108 ETH. It's quoted there. You could see it, $24.97. And yeah, look at this. Literally within the last 7 or so minutes, really is where the minting activities picked up. Again, we're at 5% right now. We're at 508 items. I'm sure people are sniping rares again in certain types of numbers, but this will be here, right? You're probably going to have, days to weeks. I don't know. Maybe it mints out today.
Dude, famous last words, man.
Right?
You know the way it works, man. It's like, you got time, dude. It's like, you never know, man. Guys, do what you want, but hey, we want people to get good deals too, and have inexpensive mints. But shoot, the way this stuff works, man, all of a sudden they're gone in 15 minutes, but it is what it is, man. Don't worry.
No, don't worry. Once you click mint and the vault is in your wallet, you're good. You don't have to worry about anything else. Remember, once the vault is minted, you just have to wait for the delivery from the blockchain itself. So that's where the delay could come in. And then we're going to add some traits today, tomorrow, pretty soon. But just know that that's there. This isn't going away. This will be showcased on Emblem.markets. This will be one of the premier collections for us. We're treating this as an Emblem collection. This is something we're putting our brand behind, and that's why we're thankful for everyone to participate with us. It's a really, really cool collection. And from my understanding, it might be one of the first 10Ks or one of the early ones, or at least one of the early ones to hit the market, I should say. We had gone through yesterday. If you go to yesterday's show, we did a whole entire video on the vault pad itself, and there's really no premier collection right now, and this is why we feel comfortable doing this on ETH, so that people can trade until the native marketplaces improve. Because also we went into yesterday's show discussing how with Emblem, there's two folds to it. There's it coming in and supporting immature teams or immature infrastructure. And then after that, once the native experience is improved, then it becomes, how does Emblem add utility to that blockchain? For Bell's Coin right now, it's very, very early stages. And here you could transact with these on Ethereum and have the transaction processed in 10 seconds. Whereas if you go to try to transact on Bell's Coin, you could wait literally hours for this to happen. So again, any suggestions, any comments, anything like that, please just let us know. Reach out to us. Again, the website is embells.xyz. Again, EMBELLS.xyz. s.xyz. It's going to be there for a while. So just continue and reach out. So there's that video that Adam had done. And I need to move over to the next page somehow. Why is this not moving over? Hold on one second. There we go. So COVOL, right? This is a question that a lot of people have asked. This is something I've been very firm on since I joined the team. Right now, Emblem is remaining passive towards the COVOL strategy until our infrastructure improves. We understand from the Emblem side, it's been very frustrating. COVOL has been around since 2014, right? It predates Emblem. Shannon acquired RBR, which is Rivet Rewards, the blockchain in 2014, moved it to COVOL C on Counterparty, then moved it to COVOL on Ethereum, and so on and so forth. And tokenomics have changed, business models have changed, but we've been very consistent in saying that, COVOL and tokenization and incentives, this is what packages everything together. We're not going to continually shill COVOL like everyone wants us to until we feel comfortable with our infrastructure so that we could package it all nice together, right? Things like rewards and airdrops and all these different things. If there's no infrastructure, if there's no marketplace, there's no front end, like what's the point of it? There's nothing to package it together. And so again, trust me when I say this, we've explored all tokenomic models, literally dozens of them. Adam is probably tired of me trying to explain to him all of the crazy tokenomic ideas that have come through. Shannon also is like me, loves kind of tokenomics, but it just has not been the right time. COVOL's also listed on Coinbase. Coinbase has been on in a active lawsuit with the SEC. So we've been really waiting for some regulatory clarity, which it does seem like is getting to the point now with that case really ongoing. We've not forgot about COVOL, right? We've moved it to this discount system for now because it's sitting there as we explore. We had to abstract it away from what it was originally used for was to create a vault. You had to use COVOL. You couldn't pay for it in Ethereum. And we had dozens, if not hundreds of users begging us to add ETH payments because they didn't want to go through the hurdles of going to buy COVOL on Uniswap, then having to pay for it, right? Then they dump it afterwards. It's just like, it caused too much friction. And it came to, the same decision with the migration where it was like, this is going to be some temporary pain for sure. This is right. Emblem is also, a big holder of COVOL, a top 10 holder of COVOL. This also hurts us as well, right? So we had to make the decision to say, hey, we have to, remain passive towards this and really focus on our infrastructure so that once it does improve, we'll be able to package it all together and do some of the things, that you see in today's tokenomic models that you see across marketplaces, right? That is something we can do, something we would like to do, but without a new front end, without updated curated collections, without all the infrastructure there, it's not a win-win situation. And that's what we want to do to move forward is win-win. But Shannon, I've had a ton of requests from the OG COVOL community that wants me to ask you about COVOL.
Of course. Yeah. You actually covered it quite well. But I want to sort of reiterate, and this entire town hall helps do that. And so understand that when we say that we've been talking about and working through different tokenomics models and paying attention to what works with other ecosystems and what works with other launches and other projects and what doesn't, we have done a whole lot of work behind the scenes, and just the same way that we're, continuing to deliver on what we've talked about technology-wise, we are getting quite excited that there is an end in sight to the regulatory question, and as that becomes clear, I'm really excited to start working with some of these models that have to do with I can't really talk about it, but COVOL will always remain a first-class citizen with us, and will be included within our models. So, yeah, exciting stuff. And again, like you said, Jake, building all of the infrastructure helps make that possible as well. So,
Yeah, exciting time. Adam, any takes on Koval? I know you've been tired of me explaining Koval to you a million times and all these different crazy models that we could do. You know, Chris has even jumped in and started diving into all these different possibilities. But just your perspective on it.
It's look, most people, and we've learned, most investors really want a token to provide this kind of liquidity for a project, and I totally get it. And all I can say is, as you have in your slide here, we are actively working on this. So this is not something that we've pushed away. We're building the infrastructure, and I feel like the activity and more users and all this kind of activity, which we're building this kind of underlying layer of Web3. We really are building this functionality, and once that's fully in place, I would be very bullish on what we do with the tokenomics.
Yeah. Now with a team and, you know, putting legacy behind us, of course, there's going to be some bumps. You know, we could finally start pursuing that. Moving on to the next slide, right? February 2024, what to look forward, or what is the things that we at Emblem will be focusing on? So bulk features, things like bulk mint. You know, this is something that I've been hammering. Chan's probably annoyed of me saying we need bulk minting tool. We need bulk minting tool. This is the thing that I've been asking for a long time. A lot of users have, and what the bulk minting tool means. Let me explain it here. I'll use Rare Pepe because, you know, there are our largest priority in community. There's a lot of Pepe holders that have, you know, 50% of a supply, 75% of a supply, right? And you're sitting on 500 of one card. I don't want to sit there and have to individually mint 500 cards. First, it's fucking annoying and painful. And second, just no, I'm not doing that. I personally have vaulted 88 assets in one day, and it took me almost 6 hours to do it. It's not a fun experience. And so, right, that this also causes bifurcation in liquidity, right? If there's a bottleneck to get assets into vaults to go trade and access more liquid markets, and obviously, right, it's going to hinder some of the price action and some of the value. And, you know, we're very aware of that. It's the same thing with legacy, right? A lot of the older counterparty people frustrated that, and megapunks too. I hear you guys, megapunks, you know, you guys have been on me the most, right? Having a certain supply trapped in vaults or not able to get into vaults, it makes the community frustrated. It makes us. So we are working on the bulk minting tool. Basically what you could do is you'll be able to send, let's say, and some of this may change, but essentially I'll send 50 shitcoin cards into this one deposit address and then say, I want 50 different vaults, sign the transaction, pay the fees, and it's all done in simply two transactions, sending the assets into the vault and then pressing the supply and minting it. On the other side of that, we can also do things like bulk unlock, which is something that somebody has asked, right? If I own 70 vaults and I want to unvault them to start trading them natively on whatever Bitcoin Ordinals marketplace or counterparty or whatever the case is, right? That's almost just as important. So adding that bulk jump as the feature we had announced today, bulk create, there's a lot of different opportunities there. Shannon, would you like to add maybe any more context to bulk mint and some of the thoughts behind it? If there was anything I missed.
No, pretty much covered it. Yeah, it's technically, it's very similar functionality to everything we've been describing. So, you know, building it all at the same time is going to give us some massive, you know, scalability pretty quick. So I'm just excited about it.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Guys, I have to jump in here, Jake. The site is getting completely smashed right now. We've had, just to let you know, like
1,700 mints now.
Holy crap. It's literally I've got the FOMO, right? I minted like, I don't even know, 4 or something.
Oh, like 7+. We're 17% in. All right.
And like literally everyone I've tried to mint, guys, if you see a gas pump up and the gas is like $1,000, obviously reject those transactions. What's happening is the MBEL's already been minted, and that's why it's throwing that huge gas at you. So yeah, just heads up, guys. Don't get wrecked by accidentally clicking on mint when there's a huge gas fee, because you're not going to get it and you're going to lose the gas, remember. So Ethereum at its best. So yeah, the site's getting absolutely bombed right now. So and getting like, somebody's probably set a bot on it or something. It's max minting right now. So
I don't know. 563 unique owners, 1,700 vaults, so about 33%. So
I was like, oh well, let me go get some of the cool numbers. It's like, no, man, they're all gone, man. It's like crazy right now. So yeah,
hey, that's success. That's really awesome to see. Again, right at 30 minutes ago, I was like, maybe you'll have some time. Now it's 17%.
I mean, you still may, but there's obviously it's out there. Some group or something is obviously crushing on it right now. So
yeah, trading group again, right? This is something we were talking about when we posted in the MBell or in the Bells Coin Discord. A lot of people didn't understand why Ethereum, like why is it on Ethereum? It is just a different liquid market, right? Like for some of the pretty big NFT collectors had messaged me this morning about it. He just bought 10. He was like, cool, no big deal. Like, this is super cool. I'm in, we'll see what happens. Meeting collectors where they are. This is what Emblem does. We meet you wherever you want to be because you never know how it'll take off. So, right, 17% in an hour. That is actually absolutely insane and incredible. So props to everybody. Moving on to February 2024. Our goal is to deploy more curated collections. I don't know if you guys have been following. We deployed 13 Bitcoin ordinal collections this last week between Bitcoin DeGods, Bitcoin Frogs, OMB, etc. Obviously, they haven't really been accessed because the native Bitcoin ordinals ecosystem is improved. So for us, right, the next thing is we're working with Arcade, we're working with NFTFi to add borrowing and lending, right? Then you go to all these other different protocols. Hey, do you want to access Bitcoin NFT liquid markets? Do you want to, right? We'll probably go to Blast, right? When Blast is launched and say, hey, can you add NFT perps or derivatives for Bitcoin Frogs, for all of these other ones? And go over there, right? These are all these crazy opportunities. But if you have a collection, or if you're a creator, I should say, or a team, and you want access to Emblem curated collections and you want to go on to Ethereum, please reach out to us. We're now actually accepting applications. DM me, DM Adam, go into the Emblem Discord, ping me when, and send me the details. Really, all we need is, so first, if we support the blockchain, which we do most of the main ones, Ethereum, Solana, Tezos, Bitcoin ordinals, stamps, Doginals are still waiting on the API, Litecoin ordinals, etc. All we need to do is we need the traits and collection. So simply a JSON file that has all of the information for your collection, and then we could build a balance checker for it. If you're on a blockchain that we don't support, please also reach out to us. We're also going to be actively now that we could scale, adding support for things like Flow, adding things for things like Hedera, right? Or Avalanche or Cardano, right? If that's something that you want and you want access to cross-chain functionality, we can add wallet support. Just please reach out to us. Again, yeah, please reach out to us. We want to deploy crazy number here. I'd like to deploy 100 curated collections this month. Would be awesome. But again, please reach out. It's tough. We can't be everywhere. It's a little bit of a small team. We're going to continue building with our partners and explorers. We've got probably about 10 partnerships kind of just sitting and waiting over the next 6 months as we kind of build towards this. Launching Emblem.finance V2 that we went over earlier, and launching the beta of Emblem Markets is a goal that we would like for February 2024. I'm going to note and say this. I'm never going to put an exact date on anything ever again when it comes to development.
Q1, Q2.
You got to make it just as ambiguous as possible. The fact, yeah, just it. And I've learned this as well, working, on OmniSat as well, being a core contributor there. Even on that team as well, never hits timelines. No team ever does, right? The Yuga Labs royalty marketplace was supposed to come out in quarter 4 last year. It never happened. So I'm trying to be very generalized. I know people want when is it coming out? But these are our goals for February 2024. Going to continue to review and implement new business models as we went over. And towards the end of the month, we'll begin Emblem on Bitcoin ordinals research and development. Although we've actually done a lot of them, and we've actually explored and talked with a handful of teams for things that require it to be built, right? Like parent-child inscriptions, recursion, DLCs, all that fun stuff. We've already opened discussion for that, and we have a pretty solid idea on how to get it done. But then it's actually getting in the trenches and building it is kind of the final goal there, right? So quarter 2, for Bitcoin ordinals. Exciting. We actually, again, very strong launch partner, very, very strong. I'm not going to say who it is, but when you guys see it, you're going to be like, holy shit, that's pretty wild.
It's been working. What?
I've been grinding, dude. I've been grinding. I'm going door to door, dude. I'm almost like a door to door salesman selling the Emblem product. Kind of fun. But again, I put here at the bottom, what features would you guys like to see? Is there anything else? Please reach out to me. You know, my door is open. The whole Emblem team we want to build this, you know, as decentralized and community oriented as possible. You know, another thing we want to do is decentralized vaults and some of these other ones. So bring some ideas. If you're a developer, especially, please come in and talk to us. So some of the partnerships that we announced, Best in Slot, who's providing API for our Bitcoin ordinals collection. Again, if you're an API provider and you'd like to provide APIs to whatever collection we support, please reach out to us. We're actually have an agreement with Best in Slot, with the Bitcoin stamps guys, with the API inside of all those vaults. So inside of every single Bitcoin ordinals vault, it'll say data provided by Best in Slot. And that is, you know, for marketing and branding purposes, that's huge, right? The more ordinal collections that are created, the more your brand gets across. So we're going to do that with any API provider to us for any blockchain or protocol that you create. Second partnership is, I guess this is more of an informal one, but with DGods, they had reached out to us, Bitcoin DGods, and the team behind their tool that they're building, their DDesk. They asked us to add support for DGod, Bitcoin DGods. So that collection is live. I don't believe they've utilized it yet. But those are the two. And again, there's about 4 or 5 other ones that I have not included on here because they're still in the process. So again, we are cooking, guys. And that is the end of the slide. I hope you guys really enjoyed that. If anyone wants to come on stage and ask some questions, you know, we're happy to hang around here for a second. Just please, you know, shoot a request or go into the comments. I don't know, Adam, do you see is there any questions in the comments down there? I haven't been able to check and see. I see a bunch of people minting M-Bells. Oh, we have
Doge Party. Can we add Doge Party?
We already have Doge Party support.
Maybe they want the M-Bells on Doge Party, man.
That's possible. Again, yeah. If there's no questions, then I could go ahead and wrap this up. I hope you guys really enjoyed it, man. I put this PowerPoint together. We're gonna do this every month. This is where we will release anything new, any new products, any new features, requests, anything like this. Again, we're working towards being more communicative, more open, right? This is what we're doing and we're building, and it's going to be an exciting future, man. This first half of the year, it's going to be really fun. I think once you see Emblem.markets pop up, it's really, really going to package everything together quite nicely, and it'll be this big aha moment for everybody. We are right. What is a vault in general? I classify it the same as a bridge and a wrap. It's a NFT interoperability protocol. And so, for example, I'll use this one thing here, right? Emblem Vault is a bridge. It is a wrap. It is a lot of things. When you look at wraps, hold on, is it Jay? When you look at what a wrap is, right? Wraps were created in 2018. And I call this custody and mint, right? If you're sending Bitcoin, if you're doing wrapped Bitcoin, you're sending Bitcoin to BitGo, and then they're issuing a token on the other side. So that's called custody and mint. A bridge is what's called lock and mint, where you're sending an asset to a smart contract, and then they mint it on the other side. What a vault is encrypt and mint. And what I mean by this is you're sending an asset into a wallet, and then we're encrypting those private keys on chain on the other side. And that's what a vault is. You're just trading the private keys to the assets inside of the vault. And to me, I think there is no question that that is such a superior method between the three. Emblem right now is the leading NFT protocol or NFT interoperability protocol at about $100 million in TVL across all of the different assets. Again, that's a guesstimate because there's no Bitcoin NFT oracle that exists, so it's tough to really know. But just knowing that half of our assets are Rare Pepe, and Rare Pepe's market cap is $400 million, right? You can say that it's pretty close to $100 million. When you look at bridges and wraps that are focused on fungible tokens, they're sitting at wrapped, I think, is almost 10 billion TVL. And between the bridging industry, it's like around $6 to $7 billion, right? So if you believe in this technology, there is a lot of room to grow, a lot of room. And Jay, we keep trying to add you up here. I don't know what is going on. You might be on a desktop. That is completely possible here as well. So I'll give it a second, but let me check on these mints.
Jay's getting rugged.
Jay's getting rugged.
Oh, well, we're on the Embel's webpage. I tried to mint like 20 different ones. All gone, man. All gone. So yeah. Our advice.
If it times out, there's a couple different ways that can fail. The systems are auto repairing themselves. So, as the traffic increases, the sites are scaling automatically in the background. So if it fails, just try again.
We brought up Team Tree, who's the front end developer. Very thankful for him. Would you like to tell us kind of what you're seeing about the Embel's Mint? And also appreciate you for doing this, man.
Yeah, of course. I'm seeing that it's getting smashed right now. I can no longer load the website. I can still get into the server box and have capability to look, but the app is just running at 100%. So if it's loading for you, awesome. But if it's not, just give it a break and don't refresh a bunch. I'm tempted to bring things down and scale up even higher, but I'm already scaled pretty high. And CPU is not like max. It's just I'm running PM2, and so it's like this process management, and so that's maxed. So I'm assuming things can continue as is. So I'm just gonna hold, but it looks like people are having fun.
Appreciate you, man. And again, Adam fades generational wealth once again. I got 3 or 4, maybe. I don't know, but that's all fun.
Dude,
man.
It's so unfortunate, and I'm not even mad at that. Like, I made the website, right? And didn't even get a chance to mint one or test one because I was letting you guys test, and I've been pretty busy just in my real life, and my wife and kid were throwing up and have like the flu. So just it's cool watching this just take off. I actually sent some ETH to my wallet, and then I was like, oh shit, I can't get it to load anymore.
Oh, buddy. Yeah, it is fun. All right. So now we're at 2,700 items. Holy crap. 855 mints. The cool thing here, right, that the ETH community, the people who are probably minting these have probably never experienced Bell's Coin before. They probably have no fucking idea what it is. Right?
Guaranteed, yeah.
And a lot of them have probably never interacted with Emblem Vault either, right? So we're onboarding 2 things at one time. So, if you're in that Bell's community, it's a huge plus. I know immediately when we posted it in the Emblem Discord and the Bell's Coin Discord about 90 minutes before the show. And there was only about 100 mints going into starting this. Right now, by the end, 2 hours later, it's at almost 30% minted out. 3,000 have been minted, dude. Just absolutely awesome. But you're gonna have
almost 1,000 holders.
Almost 1,000, yeah, almost 1,000 holders here, and right, a bunch of new Bell's Coin community members, which is probably about the same size of
the Bell's community just doubled, bro.
Between all the Bellinals holder, right? We probably like quadrupled the amount of holders there.
Funny. That's true. Hey, man, this is the way it works, dude. That's the way it works. It's awesome. Super psyched that people got excited for this, man. It's really it's huge for Bells. Like, look, we need more Bells holders. We need people to understand what Bells is. So it's awesome for that. This is what it's all about, man. Really good, man. Is Jay, are you finally up, man?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hi, perfect. So I minted 6 of them so far, and I've noticed that 3 of them show as like a placeholder. Does that mean like someone else minted it before I did, or?
It simply means that OpenSea hasn't caught up. OpenSea's got to query the contract, which gives them a URL that hits my data or my website services and tells them what the metadata is. So it's a refreshing thing. I say it's probably going to take a few hours for OpenSea to settle down.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you. That's all I got.
Yeah, I'd layer on there when you're basically minting, it's creating the vault, which is going to hold the Bell's Coin asset. But for that Bell's Coin asset to actually get inscribed may take a while. Up to, we've had the Bell's blockchain, you might not know, but literally freeze up for like 2 or 3 hours in between inscriptions. And so it may take some time. So have some patience, maybe jump in the Bells Discord. You can keep refreshing your OpenSea listings, and that'll refresh the image as soon as it's available, but it may take some time.
Yeah, in a few hours from now, I'm going to force an update through OpenSea through some automation. So, yeah, I would expect it. Like I said, it'll settle down in a few hours because I'm going to make it settle down in a few hours.
Yeah.
Cool. Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Yep. Once the vault has been minted, the way that the meme tree's built it, nobody else will be able to mint the vault. And so how it works simply is, once the vault is minted, we then ping the Bellscribe API, which then opens up a ticket for that specific vault to inscribe the asset to send to the deposit address inside that vault. So again, yeah, waiting for either the Bells blockchain, but that's kind of how the API stuff works. And the with Bells, because it's new, there's been a delivery time anywhere between literally 30 seconds to like 30 days.
Let's be honest, days. No, we've had people in the Bells Discord that put in an order with whatever Ordinal's wallet, and literally like 5-6 days. So yeah, clunky is the way I would say it is.
Clunky. All right, we just surpassed 3,000 mint, so 30% completed. 936 holders. Adam, what do you think? You think we'll hit over 2,000 holders? Unique holders?
It's really cool, man. I just, for Viva and getting his art out there. Obviously, he had a huge 6529 drop like a month ago or so. So obviously that's probably like life goal number 2 on the list. The next will be Sotheby's, right? It's like there are things that for an artist I think are big. Having a 10K collection with probably a couple thousand holders. It's just that feels really awesome. And for us, obviously for Emblem, it's about getting this out there, and the idea out there of a launch pad is like, dude, it's dreams come true, man. I mean, this is like 8 years of solid work in the making. And here we are, man. It's like, this is, it's incredible, so it's good vibes right now.
Feeling bullish. Yeah. After seven months of, since we started the Emblem migration, it's very fulfilling. It's very rewarding. There was very tough times there over the last half of the year of just building. You're like, what do I do? What do I do? On the back end, but we're ready again. Emblem, right? Small teams, completely self-funded this entire way through, and the fact that Shannon and Eric have stuck with this literally since the idea was proposed. You could go to bitcointalk.org and find the original Emblem Vault proposal. I think it's from like August or September of 2016, right? And to say, if you go back, for those that maybe just tuned in, if you go back to the presentation, we talked about how there's how Koval, the token, actually started as Ribbit Rewards in 2014, right? So Shannon's been at this for 10 years up until today. That is just absolutely unheard of in the crypto space. A protocol that's existed for 10 years, that just does not happen at all. Like Counterparty is 10 years old.
I'm seeing Soul throw up the laughing emoji, and Soul was there at the beginning too. And it's like, but even though, I'd say this, even the beginning stages where Shannon maybe had these ideas and visions in 2014, 15 about what this could become, like us, the people who are sitting in this space right now, the vision we have for Web3, we're at that same stage. Like we're that early in that process. The world does not know what we're doing here, and but they're gonna know. They're gonna know, and it's clunky and blocky and all the kind of pain points we're going through right now. We'll look back in a decade and we'll be like, man, that was crazy. And it is crazy times. But it's nice to hold a couple M-bells and be early.
I know. I think I minted like 3 or 4 too. Oh boy, during the testing. Yeah, it's super funny. Chris, I want to hear from your perspective as well. Now about the cross-chain launchpad, and we're now sitting at, let me get an update right here. 3,300 have been minted now. We just surpassed 1,000 unique holders. So 1,000 new Emblem or Bellinol holders, 1,000 new Emblem users. Chris, this is the first product release, I think, since you've been on the team.
Yeah, for sure. A ton of fun so far. Just kind of handling a bunch of incoming inbound right now, but epic launch. And, these things are great in the moment. And this will be something that we look back on, so far into the future. You look at some of these past firsts, something like maybe Pepe Permanent, UFO, some of these like first, launches for NFTs, and they really become like iconic stamps in history. So obviously no promises that something like that's going to happen, but these are really the shareable moments that we'll look back, in years time, and that's really an iconic moment, not just for Emblem, but for the entire industry. When you can launch on different blockchains at once, as a creator, you're trying to get people to vibe with your creation, your art. It doesn't matter what blockchain they are, whatever like that. So it opens up your target market so much more if you can cross chain into Ethereum or Solana or Bitcoin, because they're just really interested in buying your art, and you're eliminating those friction points. So this is a huge step, not only for Emblem, but for the entire industry. And it's really cool to see. I feel like people are kind of still working to see the vision, and product launches like this really help it. And I think people are pretty excited. Embels is having a good time today. It's a good day.
I know once I get off of this, I got to tweet. I haven't been able to tweet anything or see what's going on. Have you been getting through the Emblem account? Is there any DMs, or are there any like common questions you're seeing from any of the users?
No, it was just mostly placeholder, a ton of just inbound trying to mint. I'm trying to keep track of everything right now, but things look like there's obviously a ton of traffic on the site. That's the biggest issue, but that's a good problem to have.
Yep, absolutely is. All right, 3,500 holders. We could probably wrap this up here pretty shortly. If there's any more questions, if anyone has anything regarding either the entire town hall that we've had or even the cross-chain launchpad, even sitting here talking, I was like, as we expand this, an interesting idea would be like a multi-chain launchpad, right? What if you could launch? What if you could inscribe Bellinals or anything, right? Inscribe Bitcoin ordinals and launch half of it inscribed to Ethereum, half of it inscribed to Solana at the same time. That would be a wild product. I wonder if we could probably end up doing that. Or all the ETH2s. Yeah, it's kind of the opposite thesis of omni-chain, right? And again, this is no shade at any protocol or anything. It's just the same idea, just being implemented differently, right? So like omni-chain, and we talked about this yesterday on the show. So like there's three different kind of things. There's like multi-chain, cross-chain, and omni-chain. I'm sure there'll be like a few other implementations of it. But what omni-chain is, right? Like layer 0, I think there's a few other ones. You're basically using their protocol. So you have to deploy on layer 0, which then gives you access to all of these other chains that they're integrated in using their messaging system. But what it does is it changes the provenance, right? Because then you have to redeploy over there. And now you're in the omni-chain ecosystem here. What we've uncovered is that to collectors and to artists, provenance of the token matters. Where the token is minted, inscribed, created is kind of the foundation of the culture that exists there, right? Like if you go, the artist community on Counterparty is different from the artist community on Ethereum, which is different from the artist community on Bitcoin ordinals, right? Even though Counterparty and ordinals are both on Bitcoin, the artist communities are much different. And so we've come to learn that for artists and again, creators teams, where they want that foundation and cultural spot to begin is the most important. So we're taking this idea of, hey, this is your opportunity to inscribe and start that project wherever you want, but go access the functionality to other ecosystems. You could go and let's say I inscribe on Bitcoin, right? But you don't want to have to deal with the mempool or whatever the case is. But hey, you see the shiny new toy on Solana, and you say, hey, I want an Embels on Solana, so then I could go participate in, take my assets to go use in the Jupiter airdrop or to go use in whatever kind of farming system that's going on, right? I've already paid for these Embels. Why should I have to go to Solana, buy a new asset when I already have value on this other chain, right? So you're basically importing and exporting value, which to us is like, that's the fairest way. Like, why should I have to continually buy new assets when I already have assets here on this other chain? Why can't I just move it over there and create a more frictionless environment? And that's kind of the idea. Some people like our largest collector and holder is the 6529 Capital. And we're have a private chat with them, direct communication, trying to get like their vision, right? As somebody who owns, 7 to 8 figures and mostly rare Pepes, but other assets as well. Like, what are they looking for with Emblem? I don't think they've ever actually sold an Emblem Vault, to be honest. The only thing they do is they use Emblem Vault to vault them, have them all in one place, and so they could hang their rare Pepes in the open metaverse, right? They just want to use it for the gallery perspective, and so they have different types of ideas, right? They want things like multi-sig vaults, they want self-custodial vaults, they want SBT vaults, right? They don't want anything to have to do with the trading perspective of it. They just want to be able to have it all on Ethereum because that's where they're building. Some other users come in and right, they just want to trade. Like when Bitcoin punks came in and were vaulting, most of the people were just vaulting it to dump it into the liquidity. And that tends to be the case here in this case with MBells, right? We're taking a new blockchain or a revived blockchain, I should say, limited infrastructure, vaulting it, having this opportunity to go trade on OpenSea, right? And for the most part, it'll probably be just trading, but who knows if the collection takes off, maybe you'll see Arcade or NFTFi add loan support and you could go dabble with that until Bellows coin improves, right? That could be 6 months, it could be a year, it could be tomorrow. It's to be determined. Although if Adam has
these are built for the future, man. It's built for the future. Like, period. Like, full stop. Imagine Frank D. Gods, right? If Frank D. Gods had minted his original collection using the launchpad we have available today, he wouldn't have had the issue with, bridging, minting, new ones, all that mess that his community is now fractured over several different blockchains could have been avoided, right? Obviously the tech wasn't ready yet, but it's ready today. So, if you're minting your 10K PFP collection on Solana, we have the ability now to make it ready for the future where you don't have to worry about this going forward, where your stuff can be everywhere, built for a multi-chain future. That's what we have now. And it starts today, man.
Yeah, I tried pinging Frank about that when that happened, right?
I did too.
For those who don't know that story, to put it kind of short, D-Gods were on Solana. He obviously sold the bottom and decided to migrate to Polygon on this idea of, I think it was like a $3 million grant, at least for Utes. But then this is when Ethereum was the hot spot, and he moved D-Gods to Ethereum, and he moved Utes to Polygon. Ultimately, almost immediately after he migrated, Ethereum like imploded. It was kind of like when we launched our BRC20 product, and the BRC20 market just absolutely imploded right as we launched that.
That was the bottom.
That was literally the bottom of the BRC20 market. And so instead of him doing that, right, he fragmented it because now he has to have his users learn how to migrate, how to engage with the Polygon ecosystem, which is a different culture from the Ethereum ecosystem. If this was the case and he said, hey, I want to migrate these, we could have just deployed a Utes and a D-Gods curated collection on Ethereum, could have done it and imported it or deployed it also on Polygon. But then the provenance still stays on the Solana assets. And so you can move between them. Because I think, Chris, isn't like there's a thing called like dead gods where the remaining Solana D-Gods actually like created their own community and is basically separated from D-Gods because they're annoyed that they had to migrate, right?
They have a lot going on. So they had Exile D-Gods, which was actually the first D-Gods mint. Those are still on Solana. I think that there's like 1,000 or 2,000 of them. D-Gods, the 10,000 collection that originally minted to Solana, then evolved to what's called Season 2, and that's Dead Gods. So there's 10,000 Dead Gods. Those are all migrated to Ethereum. Utes went to Polygon for like a $2 million grant, $2.5 million grant, and then they had to pay to move over to Ethereum. But by using Emblem tooling, all of this complete mess would have been, I think it wouldn't even have happened. The Emblem tooling just allows so much flexibility and movement that it's really a game changer for any of these collections that have aspirations to maybe try something new without, risk of blowing up their entire community.
Yeah. Because now you see that there's like a turf war where they want to go back to Solana, which is painful. And when you get those different provenance, people fuck with and vibe with different things. I mean, Solana, again, we said this, right? Solana is the hot thing right now. Bitcoin ordinals are, but It won't always be, right? You know, eventually, you know, momentum will shift back to Ethereum, or it'll shift to whatever the new chain is. But Solana will mature. There will be a consolidation period, and you're going to want to move that value to whatever is the hot thing to get airdrops. Probably, I don't think the airdrop thing will probably die anytime soon. But yeah. So that's just like one example. There's many of these. Let me do a little check in right now. Maybe we'll close this up once we get to like 5,000 minutes. I don't know. Maybe we even keep this open. We're at 4,300 minutes already.
I'm telling you, it's like literally people are DMing now or hitting up in the Bells Discord and like, dude, what's up? I can't even mint one right now. Yeah, obviously, guys, if you get anything that says gas is over, you know, 40 or 50 bucks in gas, just reject the transaction, because basically what that means is that it's already been claimed. Somebody's already minted that one. What's tending to happen, though, what I'm seeing is you click on it, it takes you to the mint page, and then you walk through the process and you go to mint, and it actually just kicks you back out of the page. That's actually a good thing. That also means that it's already been minted. I don't know. It's tough to find one that's even not minted right now. I tried like 20. I wasn't able to get one that's not been minted already. I think those numbers may be, you know, the 4,300 may be wrong. It may be at 5,000 or something already. Yeah, it's
I'm looking at the front end, and it's just it's saturated. It's just trying its best to chug along.
Good thing you upgraded. You were like, should I put on the max thing? I was like, yeah, let's do it. You never know. Let's do it.
So let's see here. I'm gonna pull up the MBells so you can see kind of the mint page here. If you look on the right hand side, it's literally all unique addresses. Look, the last 6 or 7 is literally all different addresses, and that's all in the last.
Like .east and stuff too, so it's real people.
There's a lot of. This is what we were talking about. Is you want to cater to the ETH community. This is just they're ready out of the box, and now they'll be familiar with it.
You know what's kind of weird is that I noticed when Bitcoin ordinals started, right? This process of minting that we're doing right now wasn't really a thing on ETH, and it was really a thing on Bitcoin because people had to check for the hash, that if it existed or not. And so I think might be like one of the first times a lot of people on ETH are being exposed to this kind of mint as well. I could be wrong.
No, yeah, you're completely true. So for those that weren't aware, when Bitcoin ordinals first started trading back in February, they were utilizing Emblem Vault, but Emblem Vault was not ready for the minting. We actually didn't even have Taproot support at the time. So Ordinals Market at the time built on top of us, and they had to build their own verification tool to say, hey, this is a legit asset. And that was kind of what spurred the whole Bitcoin Ordinals movement, not the entire movement, but that's where the first rush of major liquidity came from. And it was from Ethereum holders. And, you know, unfortunately, a lot of people were buying empty vaults or fake vaults. And we did not have the user protections in place that we have today, right? Like the vault has to be filled, or it has to fit this X criteria. There was a lot of security holes in the legacy contract that was one of the main reasons we moved to this new curated standard and these new standards, so we could set these securities in place. Like there has not been any major issues with any of the major collections in terms of fake vaults, empty vaults, all that kind of stuff. And that was the main reason. It was when Emblem Legacy was first deployed in 2020. Again, think about the NFT environment in September 2020. There was OpenSea had been around for a year and a half, 2 years, right? Rarible had first just deployed NFTX. There was no LooksRare, there was no Blur, there was no NFT lending. There really wasn't anything, right? There was just a few marketplaces, and you had a few art NFT kind of marketplaces, but that was it. So when Shannon and Eric had launched Emblem Vault, the idea was just this idea of a tradable wallet. And originally when Emblem was created, it was actually used, the thought was for DeFi back in the day. It was like, hey, let's take some Bitcoin and some Ethereum, let's put it in this tradable wallet so that we can then go take it to these like yield farms and to, right, think about this was launched during DeFi summer at the time, like literally probably the peak of DeFi summer. And ultimately, as crypto does, they find a protocol and a tool and they use it in a way that is beneficial to them, and it's usually not the original way of what the creator had said. I mean, Adam, right? We interviewed Casey Rodermar, the creator of Bitcoin Ordinals, 4 months before the mainnet had even launched, and we were talking about just sat tracking, and now he fucking hates BRC20 because it was not what he expected.
You know, we all have a vision of what like the cross-chain, multi-chain future and Web3 is even going to be like, right? But I've said for years now, I'm quite certain my vision is going to be wrong. Like, just because when you have a million humans building a million different things, stuff works out different than you thought, right? It just by nature it does. And Casey is the absolute perfect example. Like the ultimate Bitcoin maxi, hates shit coins. He literally created the world's greatest shitcoin casino. That was nobody on earth, nobody, not one of us thought that was going to happen. Zero, right? But here it is, you know? And yeah, so you can never, unintended consequences, man. You can never know what's going to happen. So yeah, but this is crazy. Like literally, I think we're at like 5,000 now.
Yeah, let me see. So we're at 4,962. So about 50% minted out of this 1,337.
Wait for the weekend when gas comes down.
There's actually 4 ETH in total volume too. So people are trading this already.
Wow. Literally
well, yeah, they can't get it, so they want it.
Yeah, that's demand, baby. That's demand. That's super exciting. 50% of the way there. I thought I was going to be able to mint some after the show, but I think we might just have to keep the show open until it mints out at this pace. It's going to be literally 15 minutes from now.
Should we? Yeah, let's do it, man. Let's do it. I'm going to take a bathroom break though, so I might be off. But yeah, let's stay on. Let's stay on because it's fun, man. I
could sit here and riff. You know what this reminds me of? Go ahead to the bathroom, but this reminds me of when we did the Cursed Ordinals auction live. That was 3.5 hours with Bunzy's Cursed Mullets. 69 auctions. This was again, so this is just another use case of Emblem. Go to the bathroom because then I might have to use the bathroom now.
All right.
What we did with Curse Ordinals. So if you guys don't know, Curse Ordinals was like negative ordinals. There was no place to trade these. So again, Emblem does it. It does. We provide wallet support and we provide marketplace support, right? You could go take this to OpenSea. So when a new protocol is created or somehow is, I guess, just created out of thin air, like Curse Ordinals, there was nowhere to trade these, nowhere for support. So we said, hey, we'll create a curated collection and you could trade these on OpenSea. But it was such a small niche market. We said, okay, who is the project, or right? Who's the creator that we want to launch with? Like today, right? We launched with Viva and Meme Tree and Graham Bell's with Bellscribe as a collaborative opportunity. We did the same thing here where we partnered with Bunzy, who's the creator of Mullet Punks, and we created 69. He created 69 Mullet Punks. We put in the curated collection, and we actually did like a live auction where the bids. I think there was no reserve bid. And we did a show just like this, and it lasted 3.5 hours. And I think the highest selling one ended up being like 2 or 3 ETH. And I think at the end of the day, there was like 10 to 15 ETH in sales. And it was just through experiences like this, right? Creating a new product, having the opportunity to come in and, share it live, share what the idea is, and partner with the creator. And that's kind of like what the main point I've learned is now I joined Emblem in November 2022. I've learned that if you don't have the right first timing, but then also are not partnered with the right creator for a product, no one's going to use it. We failed, we realized this very early that, Emblem is a little bit confusing at first to really understand what's a bridge, is it a wrap, is there interoperability around it? But here, we've learned that if you just put the product out and there's not anything for people to ape into, then it's really not going to go anywhere. And you start seeing this being replicated by a lot of people in the space as well, right? Like shout out to Ordinal Wallet guys. They did the Pixel Pepe drop, and they've done a handful of other ones. They do a really good job at that. Magic Eden did the same thing with Solana with the Soul Map. And you see this over and over again. But the thing here, though, is that you got to have some intention behind it, where you got to have some meaning, right? If we just said, hey, this is a mint, there's nothing else that's going to happen with it, then, some people might not do it. But, having Viva's art behind it and doing this with Bellscribe and on Bellinals, there's a lot of cultural impact behind it. And we are treating this as an emblem collection, an official one. This would be the first one. So here on the live stream, thank you, Nifty Universe says congrats on the mint. Yeah. Again, I'm not even going to, I minted like 3 or 4 as we were testing it last night, but still here, still alive. So appreciate that, one of the OGs from the historical NFT community. And then JLem, not going to make it, _NFT. Wow, it is a long name. Will traits be added later? Yeah, we are adding traits. So it's kind of an interesting predicament where since the Bellinals are not inscribed until it's paid, there's no unique ID associated with the asset, right? So if you're familiar with like how inscriptions work, once something's been inscribed, whether it's a JPEG or a JSON file or whatever, there's a unique identifier. So we need to collect all 10,000 of those so we know like what are the official 10,000. And that is being maintained on our side and on the Bellscribe side. So once we get all 10,000 of those unique identifiers, then we can say, hey, these are the 10,000 official collection. And then we'll have to create a JSON file with all the traits. I believe Viva has that, or he's the creator, so he knows the traits for it. And then we'll be able to apply it to OpenSea. As of right now, as it's minting, you see a lot of it says either inscribing or placeholder. So if it's inscribing, it means there's an asset coming. There's asset coming to all of them. The ones that say placeholder means that OpenSea has not updated or rendered the metadata for it to recognize that there is an incoming asset to it. There is an incoming asset, but there's kind of twofold. I know it's confusing. It's confusing to me even as I explain it. I'm like, wow, I can't believe I'm even able to explain this properly. But if the vault's been created, you're safe, you're good. We have to, so it says, for placeholders in our OS, is it possible we might have minted a duplicate? No, it's not possible. The meme tree has put up a lot of safety guardrails. Once the ETH transaction is paid, if there's anyone else attempting to mint on that exact asset, you will be essentially booted out. But Dimitri, do you want to explain that a little bit of how that works?
Yeah, so imagine it's like somebody keeping track of a book or like a log on paper, because that's basically what the server is doing. So when somebody wants an asset, they say, hey, like I want asset number 420, and then 420 gets reserved on the server side, and they progress through that process. And once 420 gets finalized or locked based on like minting, it is updated as such. And so there should be a centralized source of truth that is maintained, which is being absolutely hammered right now. And so my apologies that it's not able to be accessed if you're not able to access it, but tried my best. And yeah, it's just kind of the single source of truth that is emitting which asset goes where.
Hey, just a heads up, guys. I've never got this alert before, but on Discord, on the Emblem Vault Discord, it said unusual join activity detected in Emblem Vault. So I'm going to review that alert right now, but we're probably getting hit by bots and all sorts of stuff now. So there are no other links. There's nothing else. So if you see links or anything like that, go out in any Discord, completely ignore those. Those are scams. So just be aware, guys. This, yeah. Are you seeing that, Jake?
No, I'm right now. I'm trying to throw up a tweet. I haven't been able to tweet this. I've been holding it inside. I would assume it's probably bots that are picking this up. I mean, again, when we posted this in the Bell's Discord before the show started, right? $50 to that community who's been minting mostly for free or for pennies or 10 cents.
Sure.
You're like $50. What the fuck? That is insane, right? But to people on ETH, right? They're like, hey, $50. That's an insane deal. I could go ahead and flip these and trade for them. And I'd assume this is what it's being picked up by, probably ETH trading communities. It would be my guess. But for me, dude, the experience is we now have right now, as of this writing, we have 1,200 Emblem holders or people who have used the Emblem Vault in some sort of way. And also now 1,200 plus, people who now own a Bell's coin asset or a Bellinals. That is very, very exciting to me, to say the least. And also that, this thing has not broken, to be honest. That most mint experiences, right? I mean, even look at like, this isn't no point fingers or anything, but like look at Quantum Cats, right? With like the Bitcoin Wizards, right? This is like one of the biggest mints in the history of Bitcoin ordinals, and they were not able to get their whitelist or their allow list, excuse me, from minting, right? So just all around very, very positive. You do have Doogie on stage. Do you have a question or comment or anything?
You're muted, man.
All good. Then.
I will say that I see an optimization I can probably make in the future that I can quickly implement before you guys run it again.
Okay. I wouldn't do anything with this though, because
oh, I'm not touching this. This boat's chugging along.
It's moving. So if I'm getting like, I don't know, I'm just gonna pick a random one right now. And it brings me to like the mint page, and then it just kicks me out. That means it's already minted, right? Literally literally just did that on some random one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, it could be like we might be getting close to fully minted out right now. Like literally just go to any random page. You guys can drag the slider on the top and then just randomly select one. And yeah, I'm getting kicked out on like almost on virtually on literally everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's not able to keep up with the locked counts, but it's definitely got it in memory and keeping track of what's minted. So fingers crossed.
Good stuff, man. It's fun.
Yeah. I'm ecstatic about this. This is it's exciting. I mean, again, right, to me, I know Embells isn't, I know Embells isn't emblematic, no pun intended, of just like everything of legacy migration, everything here, but again, right, the last 7 months for Emblem, it's been really tough. We had to make some very, very hard decisions. Small team, added more people, right? This is getting maybe a little bit, personal or emotional or whatever, but, over the last 6 months, we went to every large exchange, every marketplace. We talked with Coinbase, talked with OpenSea, talked with Binance, talked with, Yuga Labs, talked with everybody to get some capital so we could scale. And nobody saw the vision. Not a single person was interested in it. And so we had to basically, put our big boy shorts on and say, hey, no one's coming to save us. It's up to us to come in and, build our way out of this, in a ever-changing environment of royalties going to zero, right? Moving to ETH, having all these different things, a regulatory uncertainty around CoVol and all this different stuff. And, this is strong and healthy signs of saying, hey, if they didn't see the vision and we did, and, this is possibly, we're proving them right to say, hey, this is exactly what people want. They want new experiences. They want, right? They want to be met where they feel most comfortable. And here, obviously, even with $25 gas or $50 gas or whatever it's up to now, it doesn't matter. They're more comfortable being there than having to go to Bell's Coin and try to trade natively. It's just, it's very, very awesome to see. It's very, 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 very
also,
exciting.
Quickly to clarify, if the website, because I'm looking at it now, if you're able to click in and get to where you're having details, I don't believe that asset is yet minted, but if it kicks you out before the MetaMask pops up, I believe that's when Emblem Vault is getting a 500 error. And I think that's when we're waiting to scale out. So I think it's just getting DDoS in a sense, and we're waiting for the infrastructure to auto scale. So if you do see one that you like and are able to get to the details, if you're able to get into the details and have the MetaMask prompt, you should be good. If it kicks you out, that just means try again, potentially.
Okay. All right. So there is hope, guys. There's hope. Keep hope alive. So if you find one, like I don't know what I selected, some random number with not a great number, right? I'm just like, oh man, I'm just gonna go get 888 or 666 or 77. You know, those are definitely all gone for sure. Those are all gone. All the round numbers for sure are gone. You're gonna have to go to like, you know, the not great numbers. That's for sure. And then just maybe if you find one that kind of gets in but then kind of kicks you out, maybe just try it again. Give it a little bit of time and see if it comes back up for you. But obviously the floor price, there's now like 80th in total sales, so that people are actually just buying there, because I mean, I don't know, you guys do the math. What is it? It's so 0.036 is the current floor. So that's like double what it would cost to inscribe, right? Or to mint, something like that.
Yeah, it was about 0.02 is what it had come out to.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now if it's 0.03, right, that's where the market is pricing.
You know.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure this has been picked up by some trading groups. I just checked my DMs, and there's a few people saying that they're sharing it around. So it's at 6,000 mint right now. So, or 60%, I should say. That's awesome, man.
I'm just telling you, it's already over. we think it's like, oh, maybe. I'm just telling you, they're probably all minted right now. And the meme tree is like, no, it's fine. It's like, no, bro, it's already minted out. You just don't realize it yet.
Well, yeah, you just blink. Yeah,
it's already blinked, bro. You blinked and it's already gone.
Yo,
what's good?
What's going on, guys? Super excited to be here. What's going on?
Not much, dude. Just talking about this Embel's mint. We just finished up our town hall presentation. It's been a long, fun day so far. Are you following this Embel's mint?
Yes, sir. I think I started seeing them around like 1,600 minted. Went ahead and did my best to mint a couple on the website. It was kind of hard at first, but just got to mess around with it for a little bit. And definitely been seeing it spread across multiple groups very, very fast. I'm seeing a lot of notable minters minting as well.
Oh wow!
Some whales. So I love the art. I love the branding. Looks super legit, and I'm excited to see post mint how these things fly.
Me too. Viva, if you're available, Viva's the artist here. I'd love for you to come up and share your opinion if you are available. I know it might be late your time, but is it How do I pronounce your name? Bornagi? Oh, what is it? Oh, Born Again James. 2 questions for you. First, have you ever used Emblem Vault before? And second, are you familiar with what Bell's Coin and Bellinals are?
Literally just found out about Emblem Vault today. I see that I do have 60 mutual followers though. So it seems like my friends on Twitter know about you guys. And the second question, no, I've never heard of them either, bro. You said Embel's, right? Embel's and what? Embel's Coin? Yeah.
So this is funny. This is what we were just talking about. So the product that we released today, which you're seeing right now, is you might have just left, but what you're seeing right now and what you're purchasing is a vault that is holding a Bell's Coin NFT or the equivalent of it. It's called Bellinals. So think of like Bitcoin ordinals, but on Bell's Coin. Bell's Coin was the first meme coin that Billy Marcus created. So Billy Marcus is a creator of Dogecoin. Billy Marcus created Bell's Coin and deployed it about a week before Dogecoin did. Adam and a few people revived it, brought it back to life. And within the first month, it's been revived now for about 2 months. Within the first month, they took ordinals and applied it on Bellinals.
Damn.
And we just launched this 10K collection with Viva La Vandal, who's down there in the crowd as the artist. And Meme Tree is the front end developer that's been helping us. And
I think my Twitter Spaces is bugged, bro. Sorry to interrupt. I just think I can't hear you, bro, at all. Can't hear anything.
Yeah, just maybe leave and come back in. You might need to shut down the app and try again.
Yeah, that's okay. Well, I'll continue anyways. But so for those that aren't familiar,
I'm gonna go to the audience. Sorry, I can't hear anything.
Yeah, no worries.
Appreciate you so much.
Cool, thanks, Chris. If you just want to note and just tell him to leave and come back. Maybe he just can't hear me. If you are available, if he's not, all good. I don't know. Can anyone hear me?
Yeah, we got
Cool. Well, so some people might have not known, so I'll just continue kind of on that explanation. So Bell's coin was created by Billy Marcus, who created Dogecoin. It was deployed, what, 7 days? 7 days before?
About a week, a little over a week before.
About a week before. Adam and a few people revived it, brought it back to life. And after they did so, we said, hey, this is a proof of work chain or UTXO chain. We could do ordinals essentially over here. So a bunch of people started inscribing on Bell's coin. We've been working on this cross-chain tooling. What Emblem Vault is it's similar to what a bridge is and what a wrap is, but it's for NFTs. At least that's where the main product market fit is right now. So we launched something called a cross-chain launchpad. So when you're minting these, you're basically inscribing a Bell's coin asset on Bell's coin, and then it's being delivered inside of a vault on Ethereum. So the NFT that you're trading or you're getting on Ethereum actually is holding a native Bell's coin NFT. Does that make sense?
100%, bro.
Cool. So that's essentially what the idea is here. I added a little bit of context to what Bell's coin is, but we're testing out this product because we think, this future where users should be able to take their NFTs to any blockchain that they want. Because if you already hold these valuable assets, why should you go buy new assets on the other chain? Why can't you just import and export value to whatever chain that you want? So for example, go take your MBells and go borrow against it on Arcade, right? Or take it to Solana to go participate in whatever airdrop on whatever NFT marketplace is popping up, right? Or go hang it in your gallery or your on cyber gallery on whatever Ethereum L2. This is kind of like the vision that Emblem has been building towards for almost 10 years. About the first idea was popped up in 2016. Emblem Vault's been around for almost 10 years, at least Shannon, our founder. And so this cross-chain launchpad that we're doing today with this minting experience is doing just that, inscribing an asset on Bell's coin, getting it delivered on Ethereum. But you can always unlock the vault or unvault the asset and take it back to Bell's coin natively anytime that you want. Most people probably won't from now because the infrastructure on Bell's coin is quite limited. And also, when you're trading Bell's coin assets inside of a vault, you now are only obliged to the consensus and the technicals of Ethereum, right? So you could trade these in seconds. Rather than on Bell's coin, if you're going to do native Bell's coin trading, you have a UTXO model. So it has to go through the mempool, and it could be 10 minutes to hours. It's the same issue with like Bitcoin ordinals, where if you're trading, node monkeys or Bitcoin frogs, it's going to be, 10 minutes or so before you get the asset, sometimes even much longer than that. But if you vaulted these assets, that if you vault the Bitcoin, or if you vault Bitcoin frogs on Ethereum, then now you're only limited by Ethereum scalability. Of course, you have to deal with their gas fees, but that's kind of like the main idea here. Adam, do you have anything to add?
Bro, I got my favorite comment of the day. Funking.eth says, working on it for 8 months and doesn't work on mobile. I was like, bro, comment of the day. I hear you.
Oh, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, well,
if you open up MetaMask on mobile, you can scroll around, but yeah, it's not mobile optimized. My bad.
He's not. Hey, he's not wrong, man. I mean, that's what we've talked about in this space. Like, agreed. We got to get better. No doubt about it. 100%.
Fucking.eth, if it is the one, is it PHU?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the homie. He's one of the Taproot Wizard founder or Taproot Punk founders. He was in the historical NFT community with us. He actually is the reason why I inscribed my first Bitcoin ordinals. But he likes to shit on people, so he's definitely a troll man. So no hate here. It's definitely.
And then the guy who follows up underneath him, you got to check this thing out. Yeah, they released something not ready. Horrible first impression. We should boycott. Bro, I love cancel culture at its best.
Oh, man.
It's the best, man.
That's exciting. All right, we're at 6,500 now have been minted out. 1,620 owners. My guess was 2,000. Maybe we might even pass that by the end of this. It's held up quite well, I have to say, though. Although it's not mobile ready, the site has not gone down at all. So that that is the biggest plus, right? A lot of the mints, they just completely break. So JLM asks, will holders have any benefit for holding an Embel? Again, it will be considered an official emblem collection. So Embels will be generally the first, probably alongside Rare Pepes, to get to receive all of the new features and kind of cross-chain functionality. So, for example, we're going to be deploying on Bitcoin ordinals in the beginning of Q2. So Embels and Rare Pepes will probably be the first collections on Bitcoin ordinals. Same ones we deploy on Solana, maybe either end of Q2 or sometime in Q3. They'll be the first to go over to Solana. We have a lot of other tooling as well. And again, in terms of like tokenomics, if you're discussing like, are we getting an airdrop and all these other things, that's still to be determined. This space has been going on now for almost 3 hours. The first 2 hours of this, we covered our Emblem Townhall. That's where this is. And if you want to go back to it to understand what Emblem Vault is, I highly recommend doing that. It covers everything. We're launching our own marketplace, Emblem Markets. Hopefully by the end, the beta will be out by the end of February. This is a chain agnostic marketplace we're building towards. Of course, right now we're only deployed on 3 chains, on Ethereum, BNB, and Polygon. So those are the 3, that'll be out of the box, probably just Ethereum to start. But we're building towards this vision where you can buy any asset from any blockchain with any cryptocurrency and have it delivered on any crypto or on any blockchain. So for example, I want to buy a Nakamoto Rare Pepe, right? I think the floor is around like 200K, but the seller wants to sell it in Bitcoin. The buyer wants to buy it in Ethereum, right? So you can do that. But then the buyer also wants to have it delivered on Solana so that he could go borrow against it because that's where the liquidity is. We're building our marketplace towards that functionality to where the user can list it in whatever currency that he wants. The buyer can buy it in whatever currency that he wants. It gets converted and delivered to the buyer. And the buyer also can receive it on whatever blockchain. So if he was buying the Nakamoto card and it existed on Ethereum, but wants on Solana, during that purchase, there's also a conversion to where it's revaulted onto Solana. So that is kind of like the thesis of a chain agnostic marketplace. We're also launching our app store alongside of that, as there is a lot of native cross-chain builders who use Emblem Vault in different capacities to, I guess, satisfy or fulfill whatever that kind of cross-chain thesis is that they have. It's really tough to know specifically. I know you asked what the benefit of the holder is. You get to be first through the door as we move to other cross-chain stuff. And in terms of airdrops and tokenomics, it's still really to be determined, as we did cover that in our town hall. So I hope that does cover a lot of it. I know most people just want to know how much money they're going to make by buying one of these, right? But this cross-chain, we're calling it the Vault Pad. This cross-chain launch pad, literally, this is the first time we've ever launched this. This is the first time, from my understanding, that a technology like this has ever existed. Mint it on one blockchain, receive it on the other during the mint experience. I don't think that's existed everywhere else. If there's somebody in the crowd who's seen this happen somewhere else, please come on stage and tell me. I've researched up and down across all these omni-chains, multi-chain, cross-chain kind of products. It does not exist. So you guys are first through the door with us here. And hopefully you'll be first through the door with us as we explore the rest of the crypto world. Adam, update, you seeing anything else in there?
I'm seeing that I'm completely wrecked. I'm stuck with my 3 Embels, which I have to now give one away, which is awesome. So actually, if you guys didn't see it, did I pin it? Yeah, it's pinned up top. Go drop your ETH address in there. I'll give one of those away today. Yeah, I don't know. What are we at? We're closing in on 7,000 now. And nobody, I mean, can anybody mint any? Anybody in the audience?
I'm just getting constant, like 500 from trying to create vaults.
Yep.
So we're 2/3 of the way through now. 6,600 or 6,700, 1,700 unique owners. So 2/3 of the way there.
People are scouring though. I'm on like random pages, on like random images, and then like I'll click it again, and then they'll be like, "Oh, this one's taken." I'm like, "What?"
Truly, truly exciting. Emad, what's up, man? Did you get any mints in?
Yeah, I got 5. Can you hear me?
Yep.
We got you.
Yeah, so I got 5 in, but I'm actually requesting to speak because you asked about minting on one chain and getting the NFT on another.
Yeah.
So I actually did that yesterday with Squid Router. That's their Twitter account. And I was able to mint on Linea, and it was delivered to me on Polygon. It's powered through Axel Network. You can check that one out.
What's Linea?
I'm not even familiar with any of these outside of Polygon. Interesting.
Linea is a upcoming L2. They haven't gotten their airdrop done yet, but the chain is live.
Awesome. Could you pin that to the top? I'd be interested in researching it. If there's any information you can find. Again, yeah,
I'm sure how to pin it, but their Twitter is Squid Router if you want to check that out.
Squid Router. All right, cool. I'll have to find that and look into it. Again, right? Looking at products that are similar in the space, looking at it from a non-tribalistic perspective, there's a lot of things you could learn if you just kind of open your eyes to what other people are doing. So if they're doing that, that's L2 to L2. That's pretty cool. Sure. The difference one here, I guess, is inscribing on a proof of work chain and having it delivered on a proof of stake chain, both on L1s. Slight difference, but still the same kind of concept, which is
yeah, that's definitely a huge difference, I would say.
The reality is we see it, right? We understand what's happening. People in the space, we're not the only ones who see this cross-chain future, right? We see it. It's just how we're going to get there. So actually, I know Jake and I both massively encourage other experiments to try stuff out. Because you never know what's going to be the one that works, right? That the people get behind it, like, oh, this is awesome, or this is easy, or this works on mobile. We all want to get there, right? For the next game or metaverse or whatever that happens. As I think, for me, the thing that solidified it for me in my mind about what the future of Web3 was actually having Shannon on my podcast, like, I don't know, over 2 years ago now. And Shannon actually painted me a vision of, you're looking at your web browser right now. You don't know how any of this stuff is working, yet it just works in the background. That's the vision of Web3 that I fully embrace, which is like, you don't understand, you don't know where most of the assets are living, whether it's on Polygon or Ethereum or Bell's coin. Doesn't really matter to you. You just want to have it. You want to be able to use it. And that's what we're hoping to launch today is making that step, getting closer to that vision of, I just have my stuff and it just works, right? And this is a cool first step for us. I'm super excited, obviously, for us as a company, but I'm also bullish for Web3. Like, this is awesome, man.
Yeah, I just pinned to the top. I saw NFT Update had tagged me in this. Looks like a pretty big account. Minted some M-Bells by Emblem Vault. This is not an ad, just sharing what I find. Over 60% minted at the moment. Interested in what they're building as far as cross-chain functionality. So if you're in the space or associated with that, dude, appreciate the shout out and even just participating in it.
Did you just pin that up top? I don't see it.
I did. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. NFT, it's showing on my side. You got to refresh. Spaces is rugging you. NFT Update is in the crowd. Yeah. Thanks for the shout out, man. That was
awesome.
Or person, they, whoever is behind the account. Appreciate that. And even just participating again, as we were testing this last night, we're excited and we've been talking and building towards this idea for about a month. We came up with the idea towards the end of December. This is about 2 or 3 weeks into the creation or the revival of Bell's Coin. And we're looking at just the different marketplaces that had popped up. And of course, Ordinal Wallet guys are first to the scene because props to them. They're always really first and they're swift in their ways. But over the next 2 weeks, we watched how the Bell's blockchain, the mempool was just so irregular that people were trying to trade on their marketplace and it was taking hours for a transaction to go through. And so this is when we were like, okay, we really need to put this through because it doesn't look like the infrastructure is going to improve for quite some time. Like they're still trying to figure out, they're about to merge mine, I think, with Doge and Litecoin. Pretty soon I'll let Adam kind of give some information on that. But this is what Emblem does. We've done this now. This is probably the 10th time Lightning has striked, right? In 2021, Emblem Vault facilitated about 30,000 ETH in trading volume for Counterparty, Namecoin, Doge Party, and Mona Party assets, bringing them to Ethereum to trade on OpenSea. If you go on to OpenSea right now and type in Emblem Vault Legacy, you'll see that's the V1 contract that we, as of today, we officially, I guess you could say, retired and have moved on past this migration process. And over the last 6 months, we've been building and rebuilding Emblem Vault for our V2 contracts. And basically what that means is in that Emblem Legacy contract, there's 12 different blockchains supported from, again, Dogecoin, Stacks, Bitcoin, Litecoin, etc. But they're all on one single page. And we said, hey, we need to migrate these to individual smart contracts to improve the discoverability. Very similar if you're from Ethereum. Very similar to art blocks back in 2021, where all of the art blocks were on one page, and all of the artists were pissed because they're like, I'm getting buried underneath fidenzas and squiggles. No one's ever going to find me. And this was the same exact issue. Everything was getting buried underneath Rare Pape and Spells of Genesis and Namecoin assets. And of course, they earned that. Those are definitely iconic collections, but for the new creators on these different chains, if you're just buried consistently, there's no way. So we basically made a very tough decision to basically shut down the business essentially for X amount of months to prepare for this migration, moving 50,000 assets to 40 different collections, smart contracts. It's been no easy feat. There's been a lot of mistakes, a lot of, learning and hurdles. But today's launch of this cross-chain product is essentially Emblem saying, hey, we're back. We're now moving towards Emblem V2. We're 95% of the way through Emblem V1 being completed and finally retired. And this is us through the door saying, these are possible. This is what Shannon and Eric, our co-founders, have been talking about since 2016. The technology is finally starting to catch up. And you're starting to see this now. I mean, Magic Eden's putting, basically full force behind their cross-chain kind of functionality. You see Layer Zeros going in with their Omni chain and Zero Token. And you're seeing this just happen consistently all over the place. And so kind of picking that all back, Bell's Coin, right? We like where it's going. We like the vision. It was created by Billy Marcus, the creator of Dogecoin. But this cross-chain we felt was a great partnership, and we did it with Viva La Vandal, who's, a solid and, he's a huge artist in the Bitcoin stamps community, the fake rares community. He just had a drop with the memes with 6529, and, he's been a good friend of ours for quite some time, and worked with the meme tree, who's on stage, who helped with the Stampunks decentralized mint, which is very similar to what you see here. You could go to stampunks.com and see that. And then Graham Bells, who's the creator of Bellscribe, which is the second, or I guess it was the first inscription tool, and it's just him doing it as a solo builder. He's probably gonna wake up and be like, "What the fuck just happened?"
He's been flawless. Like, his part of the code has not had any issues. I just checked, but I actually took down Stampunks right now. So if you go look, I'm just trying to divert all resources to this.
Oh, you're the man. All right, we just crossed 7,000 mints, so 70% minted, 1,748 unique owners. So you got 30% left to mint, right? And then after that, we, as Shannon had said, Shannon's our founder. Once it's completed, then we got to basically do a force refresh and mint. There's some lag between everything in OpenSea. And then once everything's fully minted out and we have all 10,000 unique IDs that are associated with all 10,000 Bellonols inside the vaults, then we could add traits to this and officially add some metadata to it. So it's going to take some time, but if you received a vault, then you're good, right? It's just waiting for the delivery from Bell's Coin, sending it inside of the vault. That could be anywhere from 5 minutes to 5 hours. But Adam, for those that have just joined, do you want to give a little bit of the backstory of Bell's Coin? I also have to use the bathroom, but give it a little bit of an explanation on Bell's Coin and kind of the information there.
Yeah. So, I mean, the thing is with Bells, and what you need to understand is when we relaunched Bell's Coin, we literally used the exact code that Billy Marcus had put out in 2013, launching the blockchain. And Bell's Coin's a proof of work blockchain, exactly the same as Dogecoin. I mean, literally, he launched Dogecoin about a week after Bell's Coin, and the tech is the exact same. And when we relaunched it, we literally relaunched it with the exact tech. So what you have is you have a 2013 blockchain and blockchain tech trying to function in 2024 environment. It just doesn't work very well. And we've been very, very fortunate. Actually, Billy himself connected us with some incredible developers who actually work, Doge for the Doge Foundation and stuff like that. They've been very helpful. So we were able to upgrade the chain. We've done one major upgrade to Bell's Coin Core 2.0, which actually helped a lot. And that 2.0 upgrade actually enabled inscriptions to happen. And so once that happened, what took place is people started immediately trying to figure out how to make inscriptions. And when Graham Bell figured out that first one, it was basically a slippery slope, because once he found out, he let people know. And then there's what we've had since then has been a massive rush to inscribe collections and the first token, which is Nook. And that's all taken place over the last kind of 3-4 weeks now, where we've had 27 million inscriptions have taken place. But along with that is we've had tremendous congestion on the chain. Tremendous, like hundreds of thousands of backlog transactions in the mempool waiting to go through. That combined with a hashing algorithm that basically doesn't adjust quickly enough to changes in the hash rate. So what we'll have is we had all these miners come in, all these ASIC miners come in, searching for blocks for the biggest blocks, which are 10. The reward on the biggest block is 10,000 bells. So they'll all come in to try and get that 10,000 bell reward. And then half of them will leave once somebody wins it. And what we have then is we have this really, really high barrier to try and win the block reward, and not enough hashing power to actually win the reward itself. And so we get basically chain freeze, they call it, where we won't have a block for 2 or 3 hours. And so if you have that happen, and literally people are still max minting, the Bell 20 tokens, you just have not a great situation. And so what's happening now is the devs behind the scene are basically trying to get it merge mined with either Dogecoin or Litecoin, basically do this upgrade to Bell's 3.0. And when that happens, in theory, we'll have a much better functioning blockchain. But as of right now, Bell's is basically limping along. So that's the situation right now. So
you got a little bit of merge mining human centipede over there.
Yeah,
right?
totally.
I think the first merge mining was, I believe, Namecoin was merge mined into Bitcoin, right?
Yep.
And then I think it was 2017 or 2018 where Dogecoin merge mined with Litecoin. So then if you're getting Bell's Coin to merge mine with Dogecoin, right, you get this little ABC kind of action going on there. But what's the point of merge mine? Have the Dogecoin developers explained like what benefits Bell's Coin from this?
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you the highest level, because this is basically my level of understanding too, right? Basically what it is a miner. So you have just think of this. You have an ASIC miner sitting in your living room, and it's guessing hashes to try and solve a block and win the reward, right? So if I have it hashing right now on Dogecoin, trying to win the Doge reward, I can basically, that with those same guesses, think of it as that long number guess, I can guess to Doge and Bells at the same time. So I'm guessing a number, and it's going to actually 2 blockchains, right? And so basically you're using the same hashing to basically try and solve two blockchains at the same time. So it doesn't cost the miner any more. And in theory, they're given double the chances of winning rewards, right? So it's a no-brainer for them. The thing that it does, and people need to understand this if you're thinking about buying Bell's token itself, is that it basically makes mining Bells free for them. So some of the smaller miners have pushed back and said, hey, don't do this. Like, hold off as long as you can, because, you know, we want it to actually cost something to mine Bells, right? Because you can see if it costs nothing, you know, there could be significant downward pressure on the price of Bells. So that's totally possible. And before you buy anything, fully understand that. So that's very possible. But for the security and long-term life of the chain, merge mining probably has to happen at this point. I haven't heard really a good argument against it. As far as the survival of the chain goes, it's pretty much going to happen.
Yeah. So a little update here on MBells. I can't tell if minting is slowing down or it's just like
minting's slowing down because I think people are not able to create vaults as fast as they were previously.
Okay, yeah. So we're at 7,000. There's 1,735 unique owners, 26 ETH in total volume. So if you kind of extrapolate that out, the floor price is now 0.051 ETH, so about double the mint price. Right, there's 3,000 left. I think it's probably a handful of, as you said, people can't make vaults or the system may be lagging a little bit. So just hang in there. And
500 errors on the page as I'm trying to load. I don't know if anybody else is getting that as well.
So what?
Yeah, I mean, well, like everyone is just doing that and just
refresh.
Yeah, just crushing it. So,
hey, successful to say the least, though. Quite exciting. So hopefully, if there is a 500 error, what does that specifically mean? Dimitri, do you know?
It means that Emblem Vault's like overwhelmed in a sense of creating like traffic or something. It just means the server it's an internal server error that is a 500. So it just means it could be a handful of things, but most of the time it's like, we're just getting overwhelmed.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. So I actually did, the dev team just pinged me and says, the Emblem system is lagging. They're working on it right now. Should be fixed probably in the next 15 to 30 minutes. So getting overwhelmed at the 70% mark, not too bad, but they're actively working on it right now.
Which it's honestly good because I see a lot of things being processed. So just get some breathing room.
Yeah, to say the least. That's exciting. Some breathing room, man. Emblem is back. Add some morale to the ecosystem. Yeah. And Bell's Coin, adding 1,700 new people to Bell's Coin. That'll be kind of fun once the MBells, or I keep calling it MBells, once the Bell's Coin community infrastructure improves and you see a lot of these getting unvaulted and then going back to the native ecosystem where they've kind of just been hiding around for a little while.
I'm just reading through, man. It's like if you're in the Bells Discord right now and you're listening to me, like, just relax, man. There's nothing we can do now. It is what it is. If you didn't, obviously, if something happened and you paid money and you didn't get an NFT, you're going to get your money back. But I don't think that's happening. I think what we have is just a system that's overwhelmed right now, so just chill.
Yeah, if you think about it, right? So between all of the curated collections, there's 20,000 vaults in the Rare Pepe collection. Spells of Genesis has about 3,000. So you're saying maybe 30 to 40,000 vaults exist. So maybe we're increasing the entire vault supply by 25% in literally 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's a good stress test, to say the least.
Chris, are you able to mint any, man? You've been lucky or not lucky?
Not having any luck. Did buy one from OpenSea, so I started off the trading on OpenSea. So we're back, but it's
Chris is officially the exit liquidity, man. What do you think?
Exactly, straight to my wallet. So happy. Didn't buy the top at the moment, but it's still early, so there's more tops to buy.
Yeah, we're not. These sales are increasing. So 30 ETH in trading volume. Let me see what I need to check and see what the top is. Or the top collection. So let's see. In the last,
Honestly, I had to buy one.
nice. So let's see in the Embels isn't even showing up on the OpenSea leaderboard yet. So still early, I guess.
Yep.
Because right now it's with 30 ETH in volume, it should be sitting around number 40 in the last 24 hours, but it's not showing up there yet. So we'll probably have to wait. Maybe it's on the trending side. Let's see. Not completely there yet. I'm gonna have to ping OpenSea then and ask them what the deal is whenever this ends. So the cool thing, the crazy part is, Emblem is for a long time, it's really lived in this like very obscure kind of area. So we've run into a lot of issues with OpenSea, from just random delistings to them not understanding the product to blah blah blah. And so we have like a private channel with them for these types of situations, because for a lot of times we have to literally explain to them what's going on for them to figure it out. And so there are sometimes where the collections from Emblem do not pop up immediately, because it's this unique product that doesn't exist anywhere else. And so there's some of the Emblem collections you'll see there's on OpenSea there's a yellow exclamation point.
Looks like a warning sign.
Yeah, which just shows that it's a mintable collection, but they haven't assigned it to all of them. So sometimes you just have to open up the chat and say, hey, yeah, this is us. This is legit. And these are kind of the parameters.
I mean, I give OpenSea a lot of shit, as obviously we all kind of do, because they fumbled a lot of bags. But all the way back to Nate, and anybody who knows was around in 2021, you remember Nate. And Nate was the guy who actually got caught for that insider trading thing on OpenSea, where he would, pre-buy or whatever, dump whatever was going to be trending on the OpenSea homepage or whatever. He was the one who made like 40 grand doing that and went to jail for it. So bad on him for doing that. But that dude like helped so many collections get listed, get the blue check. I'll always have a soft spot in my heart for Nate, for helping, a lot of us in the historical NFT community get these collections kind of listed. He was awesome. And the reality is their customer service actually is pretty good. For the amount of pings they get, which is, I'm sure, infinite. They've always been really, really responsive to me personally, and like Emblem Vault. They're pretty awesome. Even though they've massively fumbled their bags, they've always been really cool with us. So shout out to the OpenSea team.
Yeah, shout out to Cardi, man. That's the homie who was one of the OpenSea guys who came in and really he understood Emblem and at an early time and saw what we were doing and really came in and helped us with that. So it's really, really exciting. I want to say hello to Sunday Alpha Mocha, who just joined us on stage, man. Have you been participating in the embellishment, or are you just following along conversation?
I'm following along. I participated. It's been fun. And thanks for doing this, guys. We need people in the space that are pushing things forward, going toward cross-chain. And it was actually fun. I know some people were a little frustrated because it was difficult to mint at times, but I found it fun to be clicking through, finding which ones were available, and trying to outsmart other people and choose the right page where I think less people are on it. It's what I was doing. But I was wondering, after you guys mint out, it looks like it'll be pretty soon, today or sometime, but you're going to be left with a community of people that are very excited about Embels. So my question is, do you guys have a type of plan to manage that community post-mint?
Jake, when roadmap, when Lambo, when moon, baby.
So it's interesting because there's basically 4 collaborators on this, but the Meme Trees on stage has just been running the front end for us.
Yeah, everybody bitch it to Meme Tree for this
right.
bug.
So you have so Viva La Vandal, who's down in the stage, is the artist. I'm unsure if he has any plans to include Embels in his community. I'm sure there will be some sort of thing there, but after we kind of decompress, it's large to take on a 10K Emblem. We are going to treat this as an Emblem collection. What that actually means, right? This would be the first, really. The original idea right now is we're not offering different types of tokenization and rewards and stuff, although we want to do that. Embels will be the first through the door as we deploy on new chains, right? Kind of think of it as like they're on the frontier. So if you missed, we've been doing this spaces now for about 3.5 hours. We did a town hall for the first 2 hours of this, and we unveiled that we're building a chain agnostic marketplace with emblem.markets and doing a new front end. And we're deploying on Bitcoin ordinals towards the beginning of Q2 with a pretty large launch partner. So once we deploy on Bitcoin ordinals, Embels will be the first collection alongside Rare Pepe to go to Bitcoin ordinals. Then once we deploy on Solana, hopefully either end of Q2 or maybe sometime in Q3, they'll be the first through the door to go to Solana. So think of them as you guys are leading the frontier in terms of exploration on these other chains of what cross-chain functionality can be. On the other side of that, right, Emblem has a token called Koval. We're building a marketplace, and we do want to explore, some of these new tokenomic models in terms of rewards and points and incentives and all these other things. How Embels will wrap up into that still to be determined. But just know that we will treat this as an Emblem collection, as you guys have been the first through the door, first through this cross-chain launchpad, and launching new tools. If you go through the first 2 hours of this space, there was a PowerPoint presentation, and we really cover everything of what Emblem's been building over the last 7 months, and then kind of kicking that through the door.
Guys, thanks a lot. Well, I'll say one more thing is that I like to follow the monkey. I like to follow the on-chain monkey. And whenever I see an on-chain monkey on the stage co-host, I get a sense of reassurance and confidence that the people up there kind of know what they're talking about a little bit, especially when we talk about ordinals and things like that. So really appreciate it. Thanks a lot. And Alpha Town, baby.
Hey,
thanks.
All day. I appreciate you for the question. Yeah, Danny's cool with us. We've talked with him a lot. When it comes to Bitcoin ordinals, again, Adam and I interviewed, and Leonidas, we interviewed Casey Rodomore, the creator of Bitcoin ordinals, about 4 months before Bitcoin ordinals hit mainnet. This was like September 2022. So we've been with Bitcoin ordinals literally before it even started. So we've been following all of that and built very strong relationships with everyone in Bitcoin ordinals, from Danny to Casey to the different builders, to the ordinal wallet guys, etc. And then we've also added support for, we did the Litecoin Punk sale. We're close with the Dogenos community. We've been facilitating counterparty trades since 2021. Here's a fun stat, actually, is before Bitcoin ordinals popped up, Emblem had facilitated about 80% of Bitcoin NFT trading volume of all time before Bitcoin ordinals was created. And then even in the beginning of Bitcoin ordinals, it was still strong. Obviously now with native infrastructure and Magic Eden kind of coming in and consuming everybody, that number has gone drastically down. But we also were the first to the scene to help Bitcoin stamps trading as well. And so generally we have a close relationship with all of these inscription ecosystems, or I guess you could say a lot of the proof of work NFT kind of trading protocols. So it's put us in a good position to know the communities in and out, know who the builders are, et cetera, and really have a pretty firm understanding.
Yeah, I think this is like you mentioned earlier in the show. It's like, we were there at the birth of all these new protocols and ecosystems, and this is the kind of natural next step of what we've learned and taken away from that, which is building this Web3 future where things just are invisibly move across different blockchains, right? And we couldn't have got here if we weren't there for the birth of those ecosystems, right? And see how it works, what's needed, without the pain that Shannon has gone through over the last six months, kind of learning how to do this migration, right? We wouldn't have had bulk minting tool, jump tool, all these kind of things that, we have now required this kind of early experience, right? And so to the point earlier, like you said, what's Emblem's going to be? There is no roadmap. There is no Lambo. But when something's going to be launched on Solana, when we're going to bring those Ethereum NFTs onto Solana, Embels will be the first to be the test for that. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yep. Also, update on Embels. It looks like we got another pop. We just went from 7,000 to 7,600 in the matter of a few minutes. Secondary is catapulted. It's now at 41 ETH in trading volume.
Wow.
So yeah,
Chris,
that's
max buying on OpenSea. I know Chris is already like flipping. He's in and out.
Oh, man.
Solana trader is back. That's pretty wild, man.
The Solana trader, Adam. We're gonna have to charge your phone here in a second.
It's just gonna die.
I hope you got a power mat. Right. I mean, if that dies, you can still talk through here. Unless you got to go, but we'll see if we could try to hold this down until a successful mint out, or at least to like 90%. I know you got.
Yeah, I got to arm out in like 25 minutes, but we'll
okay.
Maybe it'll max out in 25 minute. What do you think? What are the odds?
I thought I was going to be able to mint after the show was over.
Dude, worst advice ever. I think both of us were like, Jake's like, you got the weekend. I was like, at least, maybe tonight, gas pops down. You can get it for like 15 Gwei or something like that. I wonder, actually, I'm going to check the Gwei right now, see where we're at.
This is probably one of the hotter contracts on Ethereum right now. The Gwei was like 20 or 25 this morning.
Yeah, it's at 30 right now.
Yeah, it's not too bad actually. When I minted one last night, Gwei was around like 15, and it cost me like $30 with the vaulting fee, or 35. So I don't. It's probably up to like 60 now between everything.
Yep.
Which still, at the end of the day, is what, 0.03 ETH ish. That's still like 50% off the like 0.08s and 0.1s and stuff. So exciting to say the least. Chris, you back? I saw you had to dip out there for a second. You seeing anything from any new questions that have popped up through the accounts or Discords or anything?
Yeah, I just dropped for a minute. Spaces has been rugging me today, but man, people are excited. It's cool to welcome so many new community members to, just like you said, to Emblem Vault, but also to Bell's Coin. I don't know how many individual holders we had before, but this is a massive step for what we're doing over there. And, to watch the infrastructure mature there, like you said, and unvault back when the community is a little bit stronger, it's going to be a cool piece of history.
Yeah, man. I hope that happens sometime. But as Adam has explained, Bell's Coin still has a lot of major infrastructure hurdles to really come through.
But we all do. Kind of funny that we were like the least prepared to mint out of anyone.
I feel like that happens every single time. It was like between when we were setting this up, really over the last 2 or 3 days, when it was like really we could start testing. I put in our like group chat of all the builders. I was like, hey, go ahead and mint like what you guys feel comfortable with before the main crowd comes in. And I think collectively it was like 30 got minted. Right. That happens every single time.
Every time. This is the custom, man. It's good when you missed out.
Yeah. And then usually it's that you get that hockey stick usually in the last like 20% of a mint where everyone just rushes to the door. So like, oh crap, I'm not going to be able to get in.
Yeah. It's so crazy. I mean, we were like, and just to give you guys a little like behind the scenes, like I was literally like, let's do this like as close to free as possible, with just enough money to pay the devs, the artists. Like, let's make sure Viva makes money. Let's make sure the meme tree makes money, but we should take basically zero. And Jake's like, I think Ethereum got, maybe they might be okay with $25. Like 25 would be okay. Right. It's like you want, right? Because we wanted to get out there. We wanted to be like, we wanted to go forward. And like, you just, you just try and do the best you can. At the end of the day, you try to do the best you can. And I'm psyched that, you know, artist gets to make some money. It's awesome. Developer gets to make some money. Awesome. You know, we get to have a successful vision of something we wanted to do. That's awesome. So it's fucking great, man.
Yeah. You know, it's funny because I would say between, you know, Monday through Friday every week as the Emblem team, we're engaged in probably 10 or so different communities from the different blockchains, and you start understanding all the cultures. And yeah, Adam wanted to do free. And again, for those that just tuned in, we posted the mint page to the Bells Coin and Emblem Discord about an hour before we started the town hall. And the people in the Bells Coin community, right, they're used to minting for free. And they're like $50. You know, you're paying $50, 25 for the vaulting fee and 20 for the gas. And Adam was like, fuck, I don't know if this is going to work. And I was like, dude, the ETH community is completely different. Who was one of the guys who came on stage and he's like, what? I didn't even know there's
$5. I meant it 100. You know, it's like
well, also he bought the vault and he's like, what? There's a Bells Coin asset inside of this? What does that even mean? Right? Like that was the part that excites me, is people engaging with Emblem Vault, engaging with like assets and cross-chain functionality that you've never really experienced before. Like, how cool is this? You have an ETH NFT that's holding a Bellinals that you can unlock and go take to Bells Coin. So you essentially are now onboarding 2,000 people to Emblem Vault and 2,000 people to the Bells Coin community.
Yep.
Where the cross-chain tool goes, I think we know where it's headed, right? Again, the hottest request that we've had so far with the cross-chain tool is inscribe on Bitcoin, inscribe a Bitcoin ordinal, and have it delivered on Solana. Seems to be what everybody wants. 6 months from now, when we're deployed on both, like, will that still be the hot item? I don't really know. But for us, we really just focus on the strengths of each blockchain. It seems like with Bitcoin ordinals, people are really obsessed about the permanence of it. They're excited that it is completely on chain, right? And those who are collecting on Bitcoin, or for the most part, they have a pretty high time preference, or maybe it's low. Like, they could sit around for an hour or two and wait for an asset. They have no difficulty in that because it's just a little bit of a slower moving community. But those who want to mint pristine assets and then they want to go trade these things, right? And if you want to go optimize for trading, you're probably going to want to do it on Solana. At least this is where we are currently. Yep. With very low fee gas environments. That's where the liquidity is. And having it out of the box, right? Inscribe on Bitcoin, deliver on Solana, then you can unvault the asset, take it back to Bitcoin, go back and forth. And also, too, we could deploy it right on Ethereum. For those that just tuned in, when we did our town hall, we unveiled a new feature to Emblem, which is called our jump feature, where you'll be able to, with a click of a button, move your NFT inside of a vault to any blockchain that Emblem's deployed on, and the collections, right? So I'll use Embells here as the example. I have Emblem is deployed on Bitcoin ordinals. It's deployed on Solana. It's deployed on Blast and Base and Polygon, etc. With a click of a button, you'll say, hey, I want to move my Embells to Bitcoin because I want to go trade it trustlessly. I want to move it to Solana to go farm with it for whatever airdrop. I want to move it to Blast so that I could go open a derivatives long against it, because I guess that's what they're doing on Blast. Or I just want to take it to Ethereum so I could hang it in my OnCyber gallery so I could show to my community, right? Or for some people, they just want to have all of their assets in one single collection. This is what I do. If you go to my wallets, I have most of my non-ETH assets in vaults just so it's nice and categorized all in one area. So it's easier for me to visualize it and look at it and say, oh, these are all my assets. This is about the value of everything that I have here, and kind of move it from there. So, cutting out a lot of that friction is something that's really important to us. And we just crossed 8,100 mints.
That's what I love, man. I love people, man. It's so awesome. I think the team grabbed all the mints, bro. Before we even launched it, like even before before we put it in the the Bells Discord and the Emblem Discord, you know, Shannon was like, should we mint some? And Jake says, I think we should probably mint like 50 for giveaways and stuff. I was like, no, let's mint like 100 because, you know, you never know when we're going to. That's long gone. Bro, the team got none. The team distribution is like 10.
I think I minted 3 or 4.
You got 3. I probably got 3. You know, I know my kid's going to be, because I told him when we were doing the launch time, my kid was like, you need to mint more. I was like, you know, we'll see. Maybe when gas comes down. The team got none, guys. Trust me. You can, well, look, you don't need to trust me. Go look
on chain. Yeah.
Go look on chain. This is no pre-mint. It is what it is. So
we thought about it, right? So the other method we thought about, which we'll probably do on Emblem Markets, is like a gamified version of this, where instead of going around and choosing which asset you want, there's just one mint button, and you just get a random generated one. This is kind of what a lot of what most launch pads do, where there's just one mint button, then they deliver you the asset in like a day.
Yep.
Here, this was more along the lines of like the ordinal ethos, where it's just like first is first, which is how it's been. This is how Bitcoin Punk's minted. This is how everything on Litecoin and Doginals minted. It's the same kind of idea. So we wanted to bring that to Ethereum, right? And this is the first implementation of that through this vaulting, where you mint the vault, and then it pings the Bellscribe API to then, you know, opens up a ticket of saying, hey, this image needs to be inscribed on Bell's coin and delivered to this deposit address inside of the vault. And that's what you see. That's where I don't know from where my end is right now, in terms of like what the status is of the delivery of those. But again, Bell's coin, right? Newly revived chain.
I would say it's not happening very quickly right now. Without even looking, I'm pretty sure it's going to take a while for those images to be inscribed and to show up in your vaults, guys. So yeah, I'm sure that's slow right now. Gotta be.
I can't wait for Graham. So Graham Bells is the guy who runs Bell's Scribe. I believe he lives somewhere in Europe or Asia, because it's different time difference. He's gonna wake up and be like, "What the fuck? This is minted out already." Oh yeah, he's been doing good. Dimitri said that his API has been running, so it looks like Emblem's minting is back up too. So we're up to 8,300 mints, about 17% left, 2,100 unique owners, 55 ETH traded. Again, right? So if you're an inscription service or a launch pad, to me, this tool and product we launched today is just such an easy layup. Inscription services and marketplaces, right? Their whole thing is, hey, how do I gamify inscriptions, right? Is it, right? They're doing it either through BRC20 mints or different types of bitmap derivative mints, whatever. Emblem Vault at the end of the day, at least right now, one of the things we do is we sell vaults, right? You sell vault, or you create vault demand, I guess is like the better way to say it. So this is a pair, right? We're creating inscription demand for Bellscribe right now, and we're creating additional vault demand. And so to me, it just seems like such an easy layup. The unfortunate part is we'd gone to like 3 or 4 different teams before this with this tool. And it was originally created for Bitcoin ordinals, and the team that had asked us to do this, to build this inscribe to vault API, is a pretty big inscription service. And we built it over the summer, and they never used it, right? And so it kind of sat around for a while. We went to a few other teams about potentially doing this. None of them were interested. And we've learned this through Emblem, is that sometimes we just have to show people what these things can do. And, you know, Bell's coin was an emerging kind of ecosystem we could apply this to. It had limited infrastructure, and we had some hungry builders, right? Viva's a hungry artist who's awesome. Dimitри's a hungry builder, and Graham Bells, who created Bellscribe, is a hungry builder. I mean, when Bell's coin popped up, I remember him saying, hey, I want to be full-time in crypto. I will do whatever it takes. I want to do this full-time. And it was exciting. And so he built Bellscribe. And so we approached him, and he said, yeah, absolutely. Let's fucking do this. This is a step in the right direction, right? So this gives him now revenue to continue building Bellscribe. And, you know, I don't know if it's enough to go full-time into it, but it's enough to basically have some motivation to say, oh, this is definitely possible, right? And then you can potentially maybe do this and build this for Litecoin ordinals or Doginals or Bitcoin ordinals or whatever. And now we have the tooling to do it. So I guess a bigger question would be, and maybe I'll ask Shannon this later, is like, even outside of inscription services, if we could apply this to minting services, right? So can we do this on Solana? Can I do a Solana mint to Bitcoin ordinals, right? That's kind of interesting. Technically, I don't know. I would assume probably yes, right? Or I think Adam was engaging with the Say community over the last few weeks, and they had limited infrastructure, right? They're a proof of stake chain, so they're not inscribing, they're minting. But we had some early conversations with them about potentially doing or providing some sort of infrastructure. So it's not just proof of work, it's also proof of stake. That would be kind of interesting if you're minting proof of stake and getting it delivered on proof of work. I don't know why you would do that, but
dude, you do it to basically ensure that your project is going to be cross-chain ready and ready for any other blockchain that might pop up and be the hot blockchain. If you think about it that way, it's easier to do it at the beginning than do it later. So for example, like we've talked about DGods, right? The issue with DGods was that it was already minted, right? So to get people to go into an Emblem vault, that's more difficult, right? But if DGods was launching today on Solana and he could launch into an Emblem vault, doesn't even matter the chain. He could launch into an Emblem vault on Solana, right? It preemptively makes your project ready for whatever chain might be next, or whatever might be next. You want to just go get a loan on Ethereum next, right? It just creates that flexibility for the future, which I think is really exciting. And
out of the box multi-chain.
Out of the box multi-chain, bro.
It'll only continually improve. Kind of speculating now with Emblem over the next 6 months to a year, right? Deploying on all these chains, interoperability. The thing that I find kind of appealing is some of the current metas of points and rewards and things like this. Right. I had DM'd, we have a chat with LooksRare, and I was like, hey, are you guys interested in bringing Bitcoin NFTs to all of your GambleFi and CasinoFi products? They left me on red, unfortunately, but eventually one of these marketplaces are going to realize, whether it's Blur or whether it's LooksRare, and say, hey, there's $100 million in assets on Bitcoin. I could literally just plug in these curated collections and offer incentives to these Bitcoin NFT projects, and now I've just imported $100 million into my ecosystem. To me, it's like the easiest thing to do. It'll set yourself apart, right? Maybe OpenSea does this, but again, right? Before we launched this product, over the last 6 months as we were rebuilding, we went to every single VC, we went to talked with every single exchange, every single marketplace, whoever. We talked to everybody. Nobody saw the vision. Hopefully, maybe now with this, they could say, oh, now it makes sense, right? But for the next steps for Emblem, right now we're providing, there's 2 stages. We're providing infrastructure support for immature ecosystems. For example, here, Bell's Coin, right? There's one marketplace. You have long block times. There's, a lot of issues in terms of like how they're traded and inscribing and all these wallet support. But once you kind of move past that, right, like with Bitcoin ordinals, for example, right, we were the first to the scene to allow on-chain trading for Bitcoin ordinals. But now Bitcoin ordinals doesn't need Emblem, right? They can survive in a native ecosystem. So how does Emblem provide support or a better, utility to Bitcoin ordinals? And to me, at least, what we're saying is like importing and exporting that value, right? Taking Bitcoin ordinals to other ecosystems. So users who have, thousands or 10,000s or millions of dollars of value, they could take this to go participate in farming on different ecosystems or participate in hanging in their gallery. But then also, now that Bitcoin ordinal is a little bit more mature, we can import everything else to Bitcoin ordinals, right? So if you're saying there's, $5 to $10 billion in NFT value on Ethereum and whatever else on Solana, now we could just bring that to Bitcoin and just go full send, right? Some people like this idea of like being able to denominate their CryptoPunk in Bitcoin and trade their CryptoPunk in Bitcoin. That is a general kind of idea. Things like trustless swaps, NFT to NFT swaps, but for Bitcoin ordinals specifically, does that help or not? I think is still to be determined. Whether this like point system pops up on Bitcoin. If I could just take my CryptoPunk there, that's worth 200,000. It already is more valuable than pretty much every other NFT collection on ordinals by magnitudes more. And so you'll have an edge when it comes to point systems, right? I think Liquidium, which is a borrowing and lending platform on ordinals, I think they launched a point system. So if we were deployed there, you could just go take your CryptoPunk or your Bored Ape or whatever, go over there. And now you just have such an edge when it comes to the point system because it's so much more valuable. So you're going to be getting a lot more points for whatever airdrop that comes. And of course, this is all speculation, but this is kind of like a similar vision to what we're seeing.
And then there's people who just like the look of the PFPs, man. Number go up, me like PFPs. That's what I like, man. I like the way they look. I like the cut of their jib. I gotta see. Is anybody rocking it? Is there PFP yet, man?
Not yet, right? Well,
I'm sure that'll be fun for Viva when that actually happens, man. Which is
we gotta update the metadata and stuff. Which I again, so for those that joined, basically what's rolling out now, you see there's 8,600 that have been minted, so we have 14% that still needs to go. Once these are fully minted out, we will have 10,000 unique identifiers with the assets. So once Graham wakes up from wherever he's living across the world, he will provide us with, or even Damim, sure you might have it, with all 10,000 unique Bellscription IDs. And then from there, once we have those IDs, then we can take the traits that Viva will provide with us. And then we can add all of the traits underneath on OpenSea. So you'll be able to filter by rarity and by laser eyes and the crown hat and all the other ones that are there. And so in terms of the rendering that you're seeing here, right? Like on the page itself, you see two different things. One's a placeholder, and then one says now inscribing. The ones that are placeholder is simply OpenSea hasn't caught up to the metadata that we're sending them. But as long as you have the vault, you're good. You'll be receiving it. And then on our end, once it gets closer to mint out, so probably near full, then Shannon and then SwapNub will perform basically a forced metadata update. So then the images will display. So there's a few steps to this. And again, this is the first time we've launched a cross-chain launchpad. And from the conversations we've had earlier, it looks like there's a few teams who have done this for L2s. This is coming from inscribing on a proof of work L1 and delivering it on a proof of stake L1. A little bit more complexities there. So as this becomes a little bit more formalized, the process will be much more smooth as we move forward. But again, we're making history. We're doing this together. And appreciate everyone for remaining patient with us. Like once it's fully minted out, as a team, we'll have to, between all of us, the 4 different parties, really dissect it and figure out what are the proper steps and everything like that. But
it is trending on OpenSea now.
It is
24-hour number 3, number 1 in the 1 hour one. So yeah.
Let me see. Let's pull this up here. Put up on the live stream. Bam! You could show it right there to your family. Mbells, number 2. So right now it's number 2 underneath is Zuki in the 1 hour trending. That's it's a pretty big deal right there. Wow, 1,300 sales is quite wild. There's still about.
Oh my God, dude, that's crazy. Chris, what are you doing over there, bro?
Oh man, someone needs to screenshot that.
1,300 sales. Jeez.
1,364 ETH traded, 2,100 holders, and so we got about 13% to still mint out. The floor is now 0.06 ETH, so it's about double what the mint price is. and some people are still probably scrambling around. So if we go to if we go to trending, let's see here. Yeah, it's the number 2 trending on the OpenSea front page underneath the beacon, which I don't know what that is, but Mbells, man, crushing it, guys. Everyone is here. And if I go to the main page in 24 hours, let's see, it pops up.
That's weird. No, you already passed it. That's weird. I saw it was in the number 3 spot for me there, but anyway.
Yeah, so on the main, it hasn't made the main page yet.
No, it's number 19 right there.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, never mind. Wow, it jumped up 70th in trading and from training page.
It's up 7,000%. Those are the ridiculous things. It's like so ridiculous. But,
number 19 in the 24-hour volume. Yeah, congrats to everybody. 1,650 sales. So I think in the matter of a minute, there was 300 sales apparently.
Crazy, dude. I mean, that is crazy. That's like 20. I was jokingly, people are like, this mint experience sucks in the Bells Discord. And I'm like, yeah, man, it feels like 2021 all over again. Like this is agreed. Sorry. Like the Ethereum, this is when you reach anybody who doesn't have experience with this. This is you reach max kind of the ability of Ethereum to handle this sort of event. It just doesn't work. This is when Ethereum starts failing. So that's all love, man. That's fun stuff, man. This is when it's.
No, I would say Ethereum's handling this quite well, actually. Everything is to the degree. I mean, Ethereum is working well, right? OpenSea is doing quite well. It's not rendering everything to the degree. Emblem Systems is holding up. The fact that it hasn't gone down, huge plus, right, for something like this.
My favorite part so far has been when Billy Idol. OpenSea was somehow pulling a Billy Idol image. Did you see that, Jake? Did you see that pop up?
No, what happened?
So one of the placeholder images was literally like some Billy Idol thing. Like it was pulling it from God knows where. OpenSea had this glitch. So for a very brief period of time, Billy Idol was a placeholder image on OpenSea for one of the emblem faults.
I saw that. That was great.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome, man.
I just have to give a shout out and a thanks to Chris, who's been and Desktop Commando, who's been holding down our Discord. I just looked over to my left and 250 messages in the last hour or so. So you guys are the true heroes here, holding it down. Yeah.
Yeah, man. A ton of interest. A ton of people are super interested in the bells. I'm excited to see them rep them as PFPs. Maybe get a little community going. And there's a lot of moving parts between Ethereum, between our systems, between OpenSea systems. So all things considered, this is going really, really smooth.
Yeah, I'm excited as well. Make sure everyone give Chris a follow, man. One of the smartest guys in crypto that I know, and one of the newest Emblem team members. So shout out to you. Right, Adam, this reminds me a little bit of when we had first joined Emblem and Bitcoin Ordinals came to Emblem. And we didn't sleep for 4 days, right?
No, that was literally the craziest time. Yeah, that was literally insane.
I was going to bed at 3 a.m., waking up at 6 a.m. to get on a Spaces with Casey and Frank and everybody. And it's 1,700 people in Spaces. What is going on right now? Oh man, it's this brings that energy back to cross-chain functionality. And so if anyone sees this product and you're interested in it, and you want to inscribe on bells or inscribe on Bitcoin ordinals, Litecoin ordinals, Doginals, or Solana or whatever, please reach out to us. Shoot me a DM, shoot Adam a DM, Chris or Emblem, and we'll get the conversation going. I was talking with a few people yesterday about a stamps one that sounded pretty interesting. So again, this can be plugged and placed into pretty much any minting tool, any type of launch pad. Easy play, and a lot of future products that we will be releasing. So just make sure you also give Emblem Vault a follow. That's where we've been channeling a lot of the new stuff. We released recently 13 Bitcoin ordinal collections as support, from Bitcoin Frogs to OMB to Bitcoin DGods to pretty much everything down the board. And we're only going to continually keep adding more. So if you have a request, if you have a collection on, these are the blockchains we support. So all Bitcoin, Dogecoin, Litecoin, Tezos, Solana. Trying to think of, there might be a few other ones. Stacks, Monacoin. Namecoin. If you have a collection on there and you want to take it multi-chain and you want it on Ethereum to start and then eventually to Solana, Bitcoin, and etc., also shoot us a DM so we could get that. One of our focuses in February is to just start throwing down curated collections as much as possible so that communities could come in and really experiment with it. There's a lot of, and then also we have just released our Emblem SDK at the beginning of the year. So if you're a creator, or let's say if you're a developer, engineer, or builder who wants some sort of vaulting cross-chain experience in your project, on your front end, etc., we also have tooling for that. You just go to docs.emblem.wiki. That is our Gitbook page. You could go down and that's all of our APIs, all of our SDKs, everything is down there. Or again, just shoot me, Chris, Adam, or the Emblem account a DM, or hop in the Discord, and we are happy to come in and try to explain it. Although, I do this consistently living in Discord. But yeah, we're cruising. we're now at 8,800 mints.
I just chatted with Shannon and the devs in the Discord, in our private Discord, and I think we're going to cut it at maybe a couple hundred left to mint, just in case there are any hiccups or whatever. So to ensure that everybody gets an inscription, I think we're going to do that.
Just in case there's any irregularities or anything.
In case there's irregularities. Desktop Commando just typed in website for minting totally wrecked. LOL.
Yeah, you can blame that on me.
I'll blame that onto me, the meme tree. But that happens, man. Like the best tech in the world, when bombed, tends to fail, and so it is what it is. So appreciate
lessons learned. Also, we take what experience and we improve with lessons learned.
That's right.
Do we have like a rough number range? What do we think, like 9,800, 9,700, something like that? Just to give anyone who's a listener just a range to know that's when we'll probably turn the website off. And then anything remaining, right? Again, the reason why we're doing this, in case there's any irregularities, I'm like, I can't even talk now after 4 hours. Yeah, if there is any issues, it doesn't look like there's been any duplicate vaults or anything of that nature. But also we'll probably run some of these for giveaways, probably some for the team again, because we minted literally like 5 each. And then any of the remaining ones, we'll have to discuss, but it's not like we're going to mint these and dump them on everybody. There will be these, and the remaining ones will not be sold on the open market. They will be gifted for the team members to do at their own discretion, but it will not be like something that Emblem tries to corral and hold for a while. Go ahead, Chris.
My connection is good, but just really great job all around. This was completely organic, literally zero marketing. Didn't even have a launch day planned. This was just to showcase, Emblem's possibilities and what we could do on the product side. And so it's so great to see so many people kind of really enjoying the experience. It was pretty smooth for the most part. And this is just really the beginning of a cross-chain movement, and just a glimpse into where we're going. So great day, epic job all around, and really excited about it.
Yeah, me too. So maybe we'll have to maybe I'll throw a tweet up, or Emblem will, saying that we're gonna cut it off at X number, or once we shut it down, we'll throw a tweet out. Might be even easier. But again, currently ongoing. I'll hang out here for another. What do you have another 10 minutes or so? 5 minutes?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We'll hang out here if there's any questions or anything like that. But then after it, we'll shut it down. Yeah, in fact, we're doing that. The live stream says now 3 hours and 50 minutes. Yeah, so
we want to cut off the live stream now, because I know they're asking in technicals maybe on the best way to cut it and stuff. Maybe we want to get off to be able to handle these DMs and stuff.
Sure. Yeah. So is there any other questions? If there's anybody who has any questions, please come up. I'll answer that. If not, we will close down the live stream and the spaces. We'll shut this down. It looks like we're at 88. So 8861, 88 traded, 2,200 unique holders. And so you got probably about like maybe 800 or 900 more remaining until we'll shut it down, and we'll catch everything up, right? Because we got to refresh everything and get all of the unique ideas and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So any other questions, or forever hold your peace, man? Adam, what a wild town hall spaces. Launched everything together. It's funny, we were actually trying to launch this yesterday, and we just were not ready for it. So we're like, hey, let's just do it during our town hall when we release pretty much everything else. And yeah, it's somebody says, JH says that the mint keeps failing. So yeah, it looks like
nobody's really been able to mint. I mean, I guess obviously some people are somehow managing to get in there, but yeah, it's
the lucky few who the server responds to.
Yeah,
lucky few.
Pushing it to the absolute limits, but I would say actually, you know, there's been a few errors, nothing catastrophic. The white site didn't go down, and held up pretty well all around. So, all right, guys, I think we'll end it here again. So for those that don't know, Adam, myself, and Chris, we work at Emblem Vault. We actually host this show Tuesday through Thursday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. Obviously, we've ran way past that this time. But generally, the show, we focus on everything from, you know, all of the inscription ecosystems, cross-chain and multi-chain kind of ideology, collecting historical NFTs, and, you know, some news and noteworthy items. Dememe Tree, who's on stage, is a collaborator who's been running the front end, dude, quite frictionlessly, dude. Really props to you. Excuse me. Viva Lavando, who's in the crowd, is the artist. He's also noted in the OpenSea inscription. So really, congrats also, Viva. Thank you for participating. And our other collaborator is Graham Bells, who I believe is sleeping right now. He's the one who's running Bellscribe. I think it's bellscribe.io. Is that what it is? Make sure that you go check there. That's what's inscribing everything here. He's a really cool builder who's just eager to be in the ecosystem and has been really active on everything. And apparently the code is held up, dude. If you could build code while sleeping, man, that's how you know you built a good product, right? I think that's every developer's dream, to not have to worry about it. But appreciate everyone who came in and joined this call. Again, the first 2 hours of it was the Emblem Town Hall. I'm gonna have to go back and cut it up and then repost it so that everyone doesn't have to stay for this remaining half. Again, please follow everyone on stage. Make sure you follow the Emblem Vault account. This is where everything cross-chain, multi-chain is going. If you have any questions, you want to be on the cross-chain launchpad, you want a curated collection for your collection, or you're just interested about how you move your NFTs across blockchains, just shoot us all a DM. And until then, guys, we will see you. Honestly, maybe you're going to have to do space tomorrow, but the show will be back Tuesday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. Until then, guys, appreciate it, dude. Really, really exciting, man. Could not be more bullish on Emblem Vault. Until then, we'll talk soon.